Well, the Mariners have teamed up with Global Credit Union to bring you the Mariners Cashback Credit Card, giving you everyday rewards and low rates, plus fan-first perks and chances to win unforgettable Mariners experiences. Apply today at globalcu.org/Mariners. Well, this should be an interesting one. The Mariners looking for a series win against the White Sox. And, Rick, we'll see Bryce Miller. We'll see Luis Castillo, both in this ball game against the White Sox tonight. It's going to be fascinating to see how this one plays out.
Gary, I love new stuff in the game of baseball. When you've been around for a long time, you see things, and sometimes baseball doesn't change. But, man, it really has over the last 15 or 20 years with, you know, the technology and things like that and openers for certain ball clubs. This is something new. Piggyback starters. Bryce Miller going for the Mariners along with Luis Castillo. We're going to find out when Luis gets in the ball game, depending upon what Bryce Miller does in the game. So, great scenario, as you pointed out in the pregame show. It would be nice if Bryce could go 5 and Luis for 4 and give the bullpen a day off and get ready for the day game tomorrow. But we'll just have to wait and see. But it's a new situation because the Mariners have a lot of good starting pitching. They have 6 really good starters. So Luis coming off a really good start. His last time out, that was against Houston. Bryce Miller, last time out, first time this year, coming off the IL. That was a good start against Houston. So we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's what makes this scenario different. You think about openers or bullpen days. Generally, it's to make up for lacking in the rotation.
Problem.
Yeah, this is a different scenario. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, we are getting ready for Game 2 of the 3-game series, and tonight's first pitch of the game is brought to you by Multicare. Health is calling. Let them help you answer that call with trusted, compassionate care close to home. Learn how at multicare.org. Glad you could join us for all the play-by-play. Mariners looking to make it 2 in a row over the Sox, who've been playing some really good baseball. The White Sox are a game over 500 at 24-23. And if you look at the standings in the American League Central, they're just 2 games out. But how about the Mariners with a win last night and the A's losing? The Mariners are 1 game out in the West. Here we go. Bryce Miller looks in. It's a sign from Mitch Garver. And Bryce's first pitch on the way. Swinging a pop-up. Foul on the third base side. Over to take a look. Patrick Wisdom is back with the ball club. And watches it sail way back into the stands. And the count is 0-1. So manager Dan Wilson tonight has really loaded up the lineup with right-handed bats against the left-hander Anthony Kay, the starter for Chicago. Miller into the windup and the 0-1 to Antonacci, and a swing and a foul off the catcher Garver, and the count is down 0-2. Sam Antonacci having a good year. Started off the year at AAA Charlotte, and with the White Sox, Antonacci's hitting .298, a home run, and 9 runs batted in. He had kind of an interesting night last night. Made a base running mistake in the first inning. Went to second on a walk, trying to sneak into third, but he was out trying to get there. That took away a big scoring opportunity early for the White Sox. The windup in the 0-2 to Antonacci. Swinging a fly ball out of play on the left field side, and the count is 0-2. And then later on in the third inning, he was involved in a little bit of a controversial play. Playing second base, he went over to the left side of the infield when Pareda was on at first base. And Randy Rosarena hit a double down the left field line. Antonacci was stationed between second and third. Pareda ran into him. Here's the pitch. Swinging a pop-up, foul third base side, long run for Wisdom, but he can't get to it. It's out by the camera. Well, bounces back to him, and the count is still 0-2 on Antonacci. So, third base coach Carlos Cardoza waved in Peraza, knowing that he was going to be thrown out at the plate, but he also knew that there was going to be obstruction on Antonacci. That's why he sent him, and sure enough, Peraza was able to score a big run for the Mariners. Here's the pitch, and it's low and inside to Antonacci for ball 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we had an obstruction call. You don't see it very often. An obstruction call is on an infielder who poses a problem for an infielder trying to advance to the next base. Interference is on usually the runner. Now the windup in the 1-2 on the way, swinging a one-hopper right behind second. Right there is Colt Emerson. He's got it, fires to first. In time to get Antonacci for the out, and there's 1 away. Bolt moving over to play shortstop. J.P. Crawford tonight with the day off, but he's available to hit later on in the ballgame if you need him. There's the ball that goes out to Randy Rosarena in left field. He tosses it into the crowd. so that ball never gets back to the pitcher. Here is Munetaka Murakami. Big, strong left-handed bat coming over from Japan. He's had an outstanding first few months in Chicago on the south side. 17 home runs, the wind of the pitch by Bryce, and it's low and inside for ball one. But I was talking with third base coach Carlos Cardoza before the ball game. I said, Carlos, you knew exactly what happened. The umpire did as well, the third base umpire. He pointed to Antonacci saying, we've got obstruction there. The play continued. And sure enough, Parada was sent home with a big run. Here's the pitch. Strike on Murakami, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. And I said, you knew that. He said, Rick, coaching and managing in the minor leagues for many years, and when you're a manager, you're coaching third base. He said, we've seen that situation a number of times. He knew exactly what happened. Here's the 1-1, and it's down low to Murakami for ball two. 2 balls and a strike. But, Gary, you don't see it very often.
No, you don't. But fortunately, he does have a lot of experience in the minors coaching third, and over time, you eventually see just about everything.
And we saw it last night. Mariners picked up the second run on that situation. The windup and the 2-1 to Murakami. Swing and a foul back at a good cut. And the count is now even on Murakami at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Murakami having a nice year for the White Sox. Batting .242. Strikes out. He walks and hits the ball out of the ballpark. 17 home runs. Left-handed hitter. Played for the Occult Swallows last year in Japan. The windup and the next off for the way. Swing and a miss and a high fastball at 98 miles an hour. Strike 3. Strikeout number 1 for Bryce Miller. 2 outs for the White Sox. Miller's fastball has a lot of life to it at 98, 99 miles an hour, and that had some zip. Up and out of the zone, and Murakami chased it. But Murakami, number 1 in the American League with those 17 home runs. Here's Miguel Vargas, White Sox third baseman, 2 up, 2 down for Chicago. The windup and the pitch to Vargas, swing and a foul back. Good fastball at 98, and the count is 0-1. Here's where you really got to navigate this part of the lineup for the White Sox. White Sox having a good year because of Murakami, Vargas, and Colson Montgomery. Murakami, 17 home runs. Vargas, 11. Montgomery, 13. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and the count is down 0-2. RBIs, Murakami 32, Vargas 29, Montgomery 31. So you got to get through that stage of this lineup for Will Venable. Now in his second year as the manager for the Sox. Chicago playing a lot better. Over the last 2 years, they lost a combined total of 223 games, including a record 121 2 years ago. Miller ready, the windup and the 0-2 on the way, and it's strike 3 called. Got him looking with a fastball on the outside corner, and Bryce takes care of Vargas and the White Sox. 1-2-3 here in the top of the first inning, striking out Murakami and striking out Vargas.
Te encantan los jugadores. Te encanta el juego.
¡Y se fue!
Ahora puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas, jerseys autografiados y más, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores agregados toda la temporada. Cada artículo es autenticado por MLB para asegurar que lo que llega directamente a tu hogar es original. ¿Quieres una parte del juego? Visita auctions.mlb.com.
I was in AAA, and right before the game, they said, no, you got to stop. You need to hurry up and go to Cincinnati. You're about to go play a game there. You got 45 minutes till the game starts. So I get in my car, and I start driving, and all I keep thinking about is, which jersey are they wearing that night? So when I get to the locker room, I see my jersey hung up, and love the white jerseys, just the stitching on it, the old school feel to it.
For more intimate gatherings, all Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballparks. You can't go wrong.
Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners Baseball, Trident's up.
Well, we go to the bottom of the first inning. Rob Refsnyder will lead things off. No score in the game, and Anthony Kay delivers a strike on Refsnyder, 0-1. Left-hander into the windup, and the 0-1 on the way to Rob. It's a breaking ball that's outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bryce Miller taking care of the White Sox. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first inning with a couple of strikeouts. Mariners at their home whites. White Sox road grays, Black Sox. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball that's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Rob Refsnyder in that leadoff spot, the DH, followed by Julio Rodriguez, and then left fielder Randy Arozarena. The windup and the 2-1 pitch. Swing a little tapper, fouled away behind home plate. And the count is even at 2 balls. Even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rob, a couple of home runs on the season. Mariners looking for the right-handed bats against the lefties to get going. Rob last year with the Red Sox at .269 and last season at .302 against left-handed pitching. Now the stretch by Kay, and the 2-2 on the way to Refsnyder. It's outside, ball 3, full count. Anthony 3-1 with a 4.61 ERA, 9 games, 7 starts. One of the reasons why the White Sox have played well here in the first couple of months of the season. What a turnaround for this ball club. So many losses the last 2 years, 3 seasons actually. Now the windup and the 3-2 on the way to Refsnyder. Swinging a high pop-up left field down the line. Shallow foul territory, long run. Antonacci running out of room, and this one is into the crowd about 4 rows back. Antonacci hustling over to try to get to it, and the count is still full on Rob Refsnyder. Well, time now for the roof report from 3 Tree Roofing. Cloudy night on a Tuesday night here in Seattle, but the roof is wide open. Bunch of clouds high above the ballpark as we look off to our left, right through Lumen Field and in downtown Seattle. The roof report brought to you by 3 Tree Roofing, the #1 roofer in Washington. Go to 3treeroofing.com for a free estimate today. Here's a swing and a ground ball to short. Charging Montgomery, one-hands it on the run, the throw to first, and it's in time to get Refsnyder 1 away. And that'll bring up center fielder Julio Rodriguez, who started the scoring last night for the Mariners with a first-inning home run. And it was an opposite field home run. He had a long at-bat. Count went to 3-2, fouled away a few pitches. And then off of left-hander Noah Schultz, he hit a home run to right center field. Got good power to all fields. Here's the pitch to Julio. Swing, little tapper, fouled away on the third base line, and the count is 0-1. So right now, Julio Rodriguez with 120 career home runs and over 120 stolen bases. So at this point of his career, one of 5 players with those numbers. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging a line shot into left center field for a base hit. Julio gets a board over to cut it off in the gap as Peters gets a throw in to keep Julio to a single. He had another rocket off the barrel of his bat. So 1 on and 1 away. This is a breaking ball that was outside, and Julio went out and got it and drove it right back up the middle. That'll bring up left fielder Randy Arozarena. He's been outstanding. Another 2-hit night last night, 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles. He now has 16 multi-hit games this year. He's batting over 300 at 305. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball cut on and missed. And it's 0-1. Randy has the 5th highest batting average in the American League at 305. 4 home runs. 19 runs batted in. 33 runs scored. That's 4th in the league. He has 54 hits. Also 4th in the American League. Julio lead at first. The stretch by Kay. He delivers the Randy, swing and a miss. And a fastball at 97 in on his hands, and the count is now 0-2. But to give you an idea how hot Randy's been over the last 12 games, he's hitting .422 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. 1 on, 1 away, no score. Bottom of the first. The pitch to Randy. Inside, and that hit him. And 0-2 pitch. Got him on the left arm. He's well protected on that left arm. And my goodness, he needs those pads that cover his tricep and his elbow. Started to stride, checked his swing, and the pitch got him on that pad. That pad's going to get a workout.
I mean, it's necessary. You know, Randy stays very close to the plate. I don't think you could do that without the elbow guard.
He needs that thing, so
he wouldn't make it.
No way. Runners on at first and second with 1 out, and here's Josh Naylor. Once again, a Josh Naylor bobblehead night like we had last night. The pitch on the way to Josh, way up and in, and that hit him. Oh, wait, no, the umpire says it didn't, but now Josh Naylor's looking at Dan Wilson saying, hey, take a look at it. That got me. So Josh Naylor says he was hit by a pitch. Kind of tough for the umpire to tell. And
they will not look.
No, it didn't get him. But Josh Naylor thought it did, but looking at the replay, missed him. So 1-0 the count on Naylor. I think that's a good thing right now with the way Josh is swinging the bat. 3 hits last night, 3 for 4 with a run batted in and 2 steals. And 6 for 15 on this homestand. Runners get their leads, and the left-hander's 1-0 pitch is on the way to Josh. Check swing, it's inside. Did he go? Yes, he did. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Trip Gibson, and the count is even on Naylor at 1-1. Let's give you the quartet of umpires. Ryan Blakeney behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Mike Malinsky at first, Nick Marley at second, and Trip Gibson, the umpire, at third. Julio bouncing around at second. Here's the pitch to Naylor, way outside, and a good stop by Carroll. Edgar Carroll doing the catching tonight. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Mariners grabbed the early lead last night, trying to do the same thing tonight here in Game 2 of the series. Good to see the Mariners put up some runs last night. 6 runs last night on 8 hits and 2 home runs. Huge lead at first by Randy. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Naylor, swinging a ground ball up the first base line. Foul taken by Murakami in the other side of the bag. Full count, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Naylor. Josh, last 27 games, he's hitting .362 with 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Signed a big 5-year contract extension before the season. What a great addition for Jerry DiPoto just before the trade deadline last year. Turn around and a throw back to second base, and Julio gets back in time. The shortstop Montgomery had to reach on the other side of Julio to get the throw by Kay. Anthony Kay, the starter. Mariners trying to jump on Kay right away. A couple of outings ago, man, he was tough against the Mariners in Chicago. He won 6-1, went 5 innings, gave up 1 run. The stretch. Runners bouncing around. Here's the pitch of the way, and that's low and outside to Naylor. Ball 3. 3 into the count. But Kay won that game in Chicago on the south side. On May the 9th, he went 5 innings, gave up 1 run and just 4 hits with no walks, and he struck out 5 of the Mariners looking to get to him here in the first. And now time is called by Naylor. They're making him work. With 1 out, Julio a solid base hit to left center. Then on an 0-2 pitch, Randy Rosarena was hit by a pitch. And now the count is 3-2 on Josh. The look in by Kay. The look back at Julio, and the left-hander's 3-2 pitch on the way to Naylor, and it's going to be outside for ball 4, and the Mariners have the bases loaded with 1 out for Patrick Wisdom. A single, a hit batter, and a walk. And here's Patrick Wisdom just off the IL. We saw quite a bit of him at spring training. Originally with St. Louis when he first came up to the big leagues. He had some pretty good years, a couple of really good years with the Cubs, hitting 28 home runs and 25 home runs. Welcome back, Patrick Wisdom makes his home here in the Northwest. The stretch and the pitch on the way to Wisdom, and it's low and inside for ball 1. Mariners looking for some right-handed pop. Wisdom down at Tacoma in 20-plus games at .276 with 12 home runs, 23 RBIs. Runners at every base, the stretch, and the 1-0 pitch on the way to Wisdom. And that's inside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Patrick has really good power from the right side of the plate. That 1 year in Chicago, he set a Cub rookie record for home runs in a season with 28. Looking to drive one right here in the gapper out of the park. The stretch and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. He had a good cut at a sinker. And the count is now 2-1. Wisdom playing in Korea last year, hit .236, 35 home runs, 85 runs batted in. The look in by Kay, still behind in the count. Now the stretch, and the left-handers 2-1 on the way to Wisdom. Swing and a high pop-up on a play in the third base side. And the count is even on Wisdom at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wisdom looking to do some damage here in the bottom of the first inning. No score in the game. Bryce Miller took care of the White Sox 1-2-3 in the first. Mariners would love to put up a big crooked number right away here in the bottom of the first inning. Kay taking some time. Julio on at third. Randy Rosarena at second. Naylor big lead at first base. The stretch. And the 2-2 to Patrick Wisdom is on the way. Swing and a foul out of play on the first base side. And the count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch count is getting up there for Mr. K, Gary. That's a good thing.
Yeah, they're making it work. Still only 1 out. Now trying to cash in a run or 2.
K looks in, studying the signs. Runners get their leads again. The stretch, and again the 2-2 to Wisdom. Swinging a ground ball toward the hole at short, taken by Montgomery. Over to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time. A run will score. They get the force at second on Naylor. Wisdom is safe at first on a 6-4 fielder's choice. Julio will score from third, and the Mariners have the first run of the game. Mariners lead 1-0, but now 2 outs in the inning. Connor Joe is due up next. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Mariners Radio Network. Well, the Mariners have 1 run in, lead 1-0. First and third now with 2 outs for Connor Joe. The stretch by Kay. He delivers, and it's a breaking ball that's outside for ball 1, and Kay having a rough time with his control. He has thrown a lot of pitches already, 24 pitches. Bryce Miller in the top of the first inning threw only 14, and 11 were strikes. Mariners looking to add some more with Randy on at third base. Wisdom on at first. The stretch and the pitch to Joe, and that's low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Now you can eliminate some of Kay's pitches. Look for a fastball. If you're Connor Joe on front of the count, 2-0. Connor, 1 home run on the year, 3 runs batted in. Open stance of the plate. Here we go, the stretch. And the lefty's 2-0 pitch. It's in there for a strike. As the count goes to 2-1. Anthony Kay, the last couple of years pitching over in Japan with the Yokohama Bay Stars last year, 9-6, at a 1.74 ERA, 24 starts. Originally came up with the Blue Jays in 2019. Now the set, and the 2-1 pitch, swing and a foul back by Joe. And the count is even on Connor at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners would love to add on here in the bottom of the first inning. Bryce Miller has had a nice respite inside the Mariners' first base dugout. So he took care of the White Sox quickly. Runners at the corners. Randy Rosarena and Wisdom, third and first, 2 down. Now the stretch and the 2-2 pitch, check swing, fouled away behind the plate. And the count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Randy is very aggressive on his third base lead. He's over halfway to home. He's just staring down K2, trying to get his attention.
He sees Vargas playing way back third, so he feels comfortable with the huge lead. Kay bends at the waist, looks in to get the sign from Carroll. His catcher. Now time is called by Connor Joe as he backs away from home plate. And now Joe is ready, and so is Kay. 2 on, 2 outs, and a run in. The stretch and the 2-2 On the way to counter Joe, and it's going to be up and in with a fastball for ball 3. 3-2 the count.
He's at 30 pitches now.
That is a big workload for Anthony Kay. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning, so Wisdom will take off at first base. Randy gingerly at third. Here's the stretch, and the 3-2 on the way to Joe, and it's down low for ball 4. Joe tosses the bat away, and the Mariners have the bases loaded again for the second time here in the bottom of the first. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Randy on at third. Wisdom is now on at second. Connor Joe is on at first base, and that'll bring up Mitch Garver. Zach Pope, the pitching coach for the White Sox, out to have a visit with the veteran left-hander Anthony Kay, who's now thrown 31 pitches here in the bottom of the first inning, and the Mariners would love to make him pay. Mitch Garver, 1 home run on the season, and that was last Thursday in Houston, a big 2-run home run. As the Mariners won that game 8-3, they took 3 out of 4 in Houston and could have swept. So now Mitch Garver looking to do some damage here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Mariners. The look in by Kay. Runners get their leads, and the pitch to Garver. Swing and a pop-up out of play on the first base side. And the count is 0-1. Well, the Mariners have a couple of grand slams this year. One by Luke Raley, another by Dom Canzone. How about another one right here? The stretch, and the lefty's 0-1 pitch, swinging a ground ball foul past Carlos Cardoza, coaching at third base, and the count is 0-2 on Garver. You see Mitch Garver a lot, along with Johnny Ferreira, with Cal Raleigh on the IL with that strained oblique, and we're hoping that Cal has a very quick, speedy recovery from that injury. So important to this organization. The stretch and the 0-2 pitch, way up high for ball 1, 1 ball. And 2 strikes. I understand that Cal may already be down in Arizona getting ready and healing up to get back to the ball club. Runners get their leads every base. Here's the stretch, and now the 1-2 to Mitch Garver. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Well, the Mariners get 1. They were wanting more. Bases remain loaded. We go to the top half of the second. Our Mechanics Bank score.
Boomer is the dog. Said he looked good. And just follow his pitcher all the way. And there he is. Boomer's dad.
That was kind of a change from the everyday thing that we normally do as far as baseball cards are concerned.
Hey, I have a Labrador. Where's my card?
You know, a little bit different, and it turned out to be a fun experience.
It was just when the camera crew tried to leave that there was a problem. You can't leave.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Te encantan los jugadores. Te encanta el juego.
¡Y se fue!
Ahora puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas, jerseys autografiados y más, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores agregados toda la temporada. Cada artículo es autenticado por MLB para asegurar que lo que llega directamente a tu hogar es original. ¿Quieres una parte del juego? Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Our Mechanics Bank score, the Mariners 1 and the White Sox 0 as we go to the top half of the second. Colson Montgomery will lead things off for Chicago. Left-handed hitter. Bryce Miller into the windup, delivers, swinging a line shot, fouled on the right field line and out of play. 0-1 the count. Bryce had a 1-2-3 top of the first inning with a couple of strikeouts through 14 pitches, 11 for strikes. Pride of New Braunfels, Texas. Always great to see his mom and dad when they visit Seattle or on the road. I'm sure they're listening to the broadcast right now. Here's the windup and the 0-1 outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Montgomery batting .234, but he's dangerous from the left side of the plate. He's got 13 home runs and 31 RBIs. First round pick in June of 2021 out of high school. Grew up in Indiana. The windup in the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good fast make it a slider. And the count is 1-2 on Montgomery. On deck, Chase Meidroth, and then the designated hitter, Andrew Benintendi. Mariners a mighty big win last night, 6-1 after being swept by the Padres. It's been a really interesting year for this team. The ups and downs have come really close together. Looking to get on a roll like they did toward the end of last year where they won 10 in a row and 17 out of 18. The 1-2 inside as Montgomery gets out of the way from ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Gary, it's funny how just one win, pushes the sky back up where it belongs,
Yeah, and you hope the Mariners can, winning the first game of a series, good chance to take a series now, which would be pretty good.
The 2-2, strike 3 called. Miller strikes out. Colson Montgomery looking. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts and 1 out for the White Sox here in the top half of the second. He fanned Murakami and Vargas for outs 2 and 3 in the first. And good zip on his fastball. Here's Chase Meidroth. Time now for tonight's Men of Steel report, brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. How about Colt Emerson last night? First major league hit was a 3-run home run at the bottom of the 8th inning. So happy for that kid with his mom and dad here at the ballpark. 17 folks coming from Ohio. Here's the pitch out of the way, and it's outside to Meidroth for ball 1. What a thrill for the young man. Colt Emerson getting to start at shortstop tonight. JP right now with the night off against the left-hander K. The windup and the 1-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So his mom and dad made it to the game last night, and he was jokingly said the reason he didn't get a hit in his first game a couple of nights ago, he was waiting for his parents to show up. Now the 1-1 on the way. And that's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on Meidroth. Oh, what a thrill for mom and dad. Over here at the ballpark last night. Watch his son get his first major league hit, a home run. One of 11 Mariner players to do that. Here's the windup and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Meidroth. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The last Mariner to have their first hit be a home run was the guy who was in right field who watched it sail out of the ballpark. Jared Kelnick was in right field for the White Sox last night. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 at a fastball. 4 strikeouts in a row for Bryce Miller. He strikes out Chase Meidroth swinging. He got Montgomery for the first out in the second. He got Murakami and Vargas in the first inning. Fastball in the outside corner, so 2 up and 2 down for the Sox. Here in the top of the second. Mariners lead 1-0. That'll bring up DH Andrew Benintendi. So our Men of Steel report brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Colt Emerson last night with a home run, his first hit in the big leagues. The pitch on the way to Benintendi, low and inside for ball 1. Tonight's Men of Steel report brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Visit steelusa.com, your local steel dealer today. Now the 1-0, Benintendi takes low. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. So Bryce Miller, the starter. Luis Castillo will come in the second half of this game, or depends on Bryce Miller when he comes in. Here's the pitch, swung on, well hit but pulled foul out of play down the right field side. Benintendi hit it in and out of the upper deck that curves around down the right field line and toward the corner. Drops down below, and the count is even on Benintendi. When you're now ranked at 2-1 on Benintendi. Jared Kelnick is due up next. What a throw for that kid last night, Colt Emerson. The look in by Miller. Bryce waiting for Benintendi. Andrews ready. The windup and the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball into left center field. Lazy fly ball over is Randy Arozarena. They're in plenty of time to make the easy catch. That's going to retire the side. And Bryce Miller has retired 6 in a row at the start of tonight's game. We go to the bottom half of the second.
You've got to be very careful where you're going because you might not get there. But how exactly can you go from a yogi to a king to perfectos, the old professor, and pine tar? Find out on Hall of Fame Connections.
Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and 10-time World Series champion.
This is the only perfect game in World Series history. You ask him about it, and he would say, it ain't been done before, and it ain't been done since.
David Wells was perfect on May 17th, 1998. Beanie Baby Day.
It's not the pitcher that's calling the game, it's the catcher calling what pitch to throw.
The rule was, can't be more than 18 inches of pine tar. Home plate is 17 inches wide. And so he said, well, if it's more than an inch, and it was a lot more than an inch, then it's an illegal bat.
They might be going to call George Brett out. Well, he's out. Yes, Brett is out. Look at this.
Keep it down a little, will you, please?
Okay, Yogi.
Casey Stengel and the other touring ball players met the King of England.
Of course, with my English, we had a little trouble understanding each other.
As Yogi said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv and discover your own connections to the game at baseballhall.org.
In Alaska, Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington. 21 or older. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Second baseman Cole Young will lead off the bottom half of inning number 2. The Mariners leading the White Sox 1-0. Anthony Kay delivers. It's over for a strike 0-1. The Mariners really made Kay work in that bottom of the first inning. The Mariners got 1 run. They left the bases loaded. Kay throwing 35 pitches. Now the windup and the pitch to Young. Low and outside off the glove of the catcher, Caro. And the count is even on Cole at 1 ball and 1 strike. And you talk about youth being served. So much talent right here in Cole Young and Colt Emerson. Emerson just up a few days ago from Tacoma. Here's the next offer, and that's outside. A breaking ball, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. So the present and the future bodes very well for this Mariners organization. And folks, there's more talent on the way. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a pop-up out of play on the third base side. And the count is even on Young at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this wonderful roll started with a first-round pick in 2018, Logan Gilbert. Then Cal Raleigh in the 3rd round of that draft out of Florida State. Here's the stretch, and the 2-2 pitch to Young. Swinging a foul off the catcher, Caro. And back behind the plate, still 2-2 on Cole. And then in 2019, George Kirby, a first-round pick. 2020, Emerson Hancock, a first-round pick out of the University of Georgia. 2021, Bryce Miller in the 4th round, and Brian Wu in the 6th round. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. Full count 3-2, and the high pitch count just continues to get higher for Anthony Kay. The Mariners scouting department, led by Scott Hunter, has done a super job to form the core of this pitching staff and position players. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's up high for ball 4. So Young draws a walk. He's on at first. That's the 3rd walk given up by Anthony Kay. He's also hit a batter. We're only in the 2nd. Well, here he is, Colt Emerson, the young man from New Concord, Ohio. Major League debut 2 nights ago, was 0 for 2, but last night, storybook start to his Major League career. with a home run, his first hit in the big leagues. Here's the pitch on the way to Colt. A strike called, 0-1. Emerson in the bottom of the 8th inning. 0-2, worked at 2-2, fouled away a few pitches, got a changeup from Trevor Richards and hit a home run down the right field line. 3-run home run. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch to Emerson. Low and outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. So
He is just really struggling to find the strike zone.
Oh, man, Gary, he's all over the place. 42 pitches already, Gary. Now the stretch. And the 1-1 on the way to Colt. Check swing, and it's down and away. Did he go? He did not. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike.
Mariners have gotten 1 across, which is good, but see if they can really make him pay for being so wild in the early going.
Yeah, they needed more there in the bottom of the first inning. They got the 1 run on a fielder's choice. Next pitch to Colt, swinging a foul back, took a healthy cut, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 17 folks from New Concord, Ohio were here last night to watch Colt Emerson get his first major league hit, that home run, mom and dad. And I found out the population of New Concord, Ohio. It's not a real big town. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up on a play on the third base side, and the count is still even on Colt Emerson at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Want to take a guess at the population?
I know it's not big.
It's not.
He lives on a farm.
The population of New Concord, 2,330. Here's the pitch of the way. Breaking ball is up and in. He takes it for ball 3, and a nice hit bat right here by Emerson. Full count, 3-2, and another full count for Anthony Kay. But it's still a lot more than Renville, Ohio, which has a population of 28. Here's the set by Kay, and the 3-2 at Emerson, swinging a foul off the catcher Caro, and the count is still 3-2.
I remember before Colt Emerson was drafted, Andy McKay, who is now with Cleveland, he would, do house visits. It took some time, a little bit of drive to get to Colt Emerson, but obviously well worth it.
They found that kid, diamond in the rough. Here's the stretch. Orno Wheatfield, here's the pitch of the way, and a swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. And that's the first time that Emerson has struck out in 3 major league games. That kid is something. 1 on and 1 away. Hey, let's hear it for our hardworking teachers out there. Help us honor 24 of them with a $500 classroom grant through the WSECU Teacher of the Week program. Submit your nomination before May 31st at mynorthwest.com/teacher. The high school I went to was double the population of New Concord, Ohio. Here's Rob Refsnyder, and Refsnyder takes a strike, 0-1. Refsnyder 0 for 1 is grounded out to Montgomery at short. Young a lead at first, 1 out, bottom of the second, 1-0 Mariners. Kay ready, and the 0-1 pitch to Refsnyder is over for a strike, a fastball, and the count is now 0-2. What a thrill for mom and dad here at the ballpark last night to watch Colt get his first major league hit. Great picture in the Seattle Times this morning. Here's the next offer, the way, swing and a miss for strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Kay, and 2 down for the Mariners here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Man, you got a guy struggling right now. You want to cash in. Mariners weren't able to do that in the first, even though they got that 1 run. So here's Julio. Big home run last night. Looking for number 9 on the year right here, the stretch. And the pitch on the way to Julio is inside for ball 1. On deck, Randy Rosarena. Game 2 of the 3-game series with the White Sox. Last time in Chicago, the White Sox won 2 out of 3. Mariners could have won 2 out of 3. There goes the runner. Young pitch of the way, swinging a foul off the catcher Caro. The ball bounces off of Caro up the first base liner. Maybe it hit off of Julio, and it did. It hit off his right knee. He took a wicked foul ball off his knee, and that's where the ball after that rolled up the first base line, and the count is even on Julio at 1-1. But here comes Trainer Kyle Torgerson out of the dugout to check up on Julio. Trying to rub that right knee. Took a nasty foul ball right off his knee.
Oh, like it was right off the kneecap. Ow.
The thing just went right straight down off his right knee. Dan Wilson also out there making sure that Julio can stay in this game, trying to put some pressure on that right leg. He says he's all right. But it's sore, and the count is even on Julio at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cole Young back at first base. He was running on the pitch. So he's on at first with 2 outs. 1-0 Mariners. Julio back up there. The stretch by Kay. Young a lead. He stays. The pitch to Julio, swinging a foul off his foot this time. Off his left foot. This is a painful at bat for Julio Rodriguez. And again, that ball rolls all the way up the first base line. Oh man, this got him on his left shin.
Randy walked over to help. Randy has some healing power.
2 consecutive pitches, 1 off his right knee, 1 off his left shin. It's amazing he can stand up right now. Now he's back inside the batter's box. 1-2 the count on Julio. Kay looks in, Young a lead. And the pitch of the way, swinging a foul back, and thank goodness it didn't hit him. Count is still 1-2 on Julio. He's been on a nice roll last 35 games. Julio batting .291. 1 for 4 last time with that home run to right center field. Young again to lead the stretch. And again, the 1-2 to Julio. Swinging a broken back ground ball side of the mound out to the second baseman. Charging is Meidroth. He's got it. Throws the first, and it's just in time to get a hustling Julio Rodriguez, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on. We go to the top of the...
Juan is back near the wall. Leaps, makes the catch. Popped up down the third base line, and a catch by Cosimo Okamoto.
Long run for Riley Green. He's tracking it. He'll slide and make the catch.
That ball is going to be caught on a dive.
Leaps up and he makes the catch. Holy smokes, what a catch by Julio Rodriguez.
Wild gives chase up against the side wall. He's got it.
Young racing back, leaps into the air, and he makes the catch, climbing to the top of the fence.
Into the air, left center field. Crawford makes the sprawling grab. He just saved the shutouts. This one hit. Nice play in right center by Seiya Suzuki. Liner to center field. It is Piaz. Catch in center. St. comes on, slides and makes the catch. Line to right center field. Pages after lays up. Oh, he made the catch.
Diving stop backhand to third by Caminero. Pops up, throws across, and got him.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game, post-game, and everything in between. This is baseball your way, with real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Mariners leading 1-0 over the White Sox. Bryce Miller has been very sharp so far. 6 up, 6 down. He's struck out 4. He'll face Jared Kelnick to lead off the 3rd inning. You're with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. Miller's been efficient as well. 28 pitches, winds, deals. A half cut by Kelnick. He goes. It's a strike. Started him with a slider. Kelnick shaking his head side to side. He's not happy. He's wearing a black turtleneck under his gray jersey, adjusting the white batting gloves, sporting a mustache. It's a mustache battle here as Bryce Miller stares in. Miller into the wind. Here comes the pitch. Too high. Overthrows a fastball. Seen good life from Bryce. Seen that fastball, 97, 98. That's the velocity we saw in his first outing last time out against the Astros. His first time on the mound this season. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, chopped foul, first base side. So Miller has Kelenic where he wants him. Bryce went 5 1/3 against Houston. Gave up 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Already has 4 strikeouts tonight. Looking for his 5th. Miller into the motion, he deals. Swung on and missed, got him. A splitter that disappeared on Kelenic. He swings through. Miller, 5 strikeouts to start the game. He's retired the first 7 he has seen. Excellent so far. 1 away here in the 3rd. I'll bring up Tristan Peters, the center fielder. Wisdom, the third baseman, playing way in. He's standing on the grass. Here's the pitch. And it's inside. 97, missed with the fastball. Mariners leading 1-0. They got a run in the first on a ground out by Wisdom. Mariners have had a lot of base runners. Here comes the 1-0. That also just misses the inside corner. 2 balls, no strikes, although it's being challenged now. So Garver has been really good at this year. He's got it. It's a strike. He continues to be really good at this as the very tip of the baseball gets the call. That couldn't be closer. He had it all the way. Here's the 1-1. That misses down low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Think about the difference, though. It's a 2-1 count. Could have been a 3-0 count. And these challenges really make a difference. He's into the motion. Here comes the pitch from Bryce. Swung on, popped up. That's going to get into the crowd. Third base side out of play.
You know, Gary, with the ABS system, we're seeing pitches that just tick the inside corner, the outside corner. Now, baseball is about 2.5 inches wide. That gives you 2.5 inches on the other side of the plate and this side of the plate that hitters have to be ready for. So the plate no longer is 17 inches on a close pitch.
The 2-2 swung on. He just gets enough to stay alive. That fastball, 98 miles per hour for Bryce. He's feeling good. 1-0 Mariners. 3rd inning. Bryce adjusts the ball cap on the top of his head. You know, talking to Trent Blank before the season, with the new ABS system, that's actually a fear that Trent Blank had. Bryce Miller adjusts the ball cap quite a bit after he pitches. He was worried that... No, it's not a challenge. I'm just adjusting the cap.
And the umpires have said something about the ABS system. They want a verbal cue along with the visual cue.
The 2-2. Swung on, line drive right there. Cole Emerson picks it up off the shoe tops. He catches the line drive, and that's the 2nd out. Nice play. Yeah, because it's funny. You didn't realize how often guys would go to their helmet or look like they're tapping their helmet until the system comes about, and then it's like, wow, they do this all the time.
How about Luis Castillo after every pitch?
Yes, after every pitch.
Pushing that big cap over those braids.
Yeah. Here's the pitch to Caro. That's a strike. So Miller's ahead. Garver this year is 14-3 on his challenges. It's excellent. Here's the 0-1. That's a strike. If you look at defenders that have challenged at least as many times as Garver has, Carson Kelly's the only defender that has been more successful, as Garver's well over 80% now. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, hard hit, but right to Patrick Wisdom, essentially playing shortstop. Picks it up, fires to first to get the out. Bryce Miller, 9 up, 9 down. He has been red hot so far to start this game against the White Sox. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Mariners leading 1-0.
Coming off AL Player of the Week honors, where he hit over 400 with 3 homers, Bobby Witt Jr. was all gas, no brakes.
And grounded inside the bag and up the line. Played poorly off the sidewall by Carpenter. How far will Bobby go? And Vance Wilson is going to let him come to the plate. He is in there.
To say Bobby is on a tear is an understatement. His gap-to-gap power and that lightning speed has him among the major league leaders in hits, stolen bases, and WAR. He also just happens to be one of baseball's premier defensive players.
Goodness, that's why he's one of the best in the game.
That is how you win a Gold Glove in back-to-back seasons, and last year earned a Platinum Glove.
Baseball fans are bearing witness to something special.
He's their go-to guy in all situations, whether it's defensively, offensively, running the bases, complete player.
A primetime player in his prime.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Want the inside scoop on the Mariners? Sign up for Mariners Mail and 24/24/7 text to get access to exclusive pre-sales, special ticket offers, breaking news, and more. Go to mariners.com/insider and text Mariners to 24/24/7.
Mariners leading 1-0 over the White Sox. Randy Arozarena will lead things off for the Mariners. Mariners getting a run in the first inning. Bryce Miller's been excellent so far. 9 up, 9 down to start. Arozarena hit by a pitch his first time. Stands in against Anthony Kay. The lefty into the wind. Here's the pitch. That's inside. Almost hit him again. A sweeper as Arozarena jumps out of the way. 1 ball, no strikes. Randy now has been hit 45 times in his Mariners career, the 1-0. That's down low. He's already moved into the top 10 all-time in hit by pitches in Mariners history. He really hasn't been here all that long to move into the top 10, but here he is. Here's the 2-0. That's a strike. And to give you an idea of how often he gets hit, so he's been hit 45 times now. Next on the list is Ichiro, who has hit 47 times in his career. He's 2 off Ichiro. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, foul away. And as you can imagine, there's quite a big gap in at-bats between Randy and Ichiro. And the next up after that is Ken Griffey Jr., who has hit 48 times. So Randy,
very quickly,
could have them by this week.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Swung on, a chopper, solo hit to the shortstop. Montgomery charges, gloves, throws on the move to first. It's in time to just get Randy. It's a good play by Montgomery. 1 away.
Right away, Dan Wilson has his arm up saying, hey, we might want to take a look at it. So he's holding. No. They got him. 1 away. Good play by Montgomery again.
Here's Naylor as we take a look at the premium matchup presented by Alaska Airlines. The official airline of the Seattle Mariners and your new gateway to the world. Experience a new level of comfort aboard Alaska's new 787 Dreamliner, flying nonstop to top destinations around the globe. The pitch to Naylor. Swung on and missed. Now the big matchup against Anthony Kay, it's really all about the damage righties can do against Kay. The splits are extreme for Kay. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, chopped foul off of Naylor, and he's hobbling. Lefties, who he's really dominated this year, they're batting .079 against him with no homers. So keep the number .079 in your head because righties are batting .339 with 6 home runs. That's a wide gap between lefties and righties.
Josh Naylor,
he'll get some attention here.
Yeah, Josh is in a whole lot of pain. That got him on the inside of his shin on his right leg. Straight down, right off his right leg. That's his front leg. And now Dan Wilson is out there again with Kyle Torgerson, our head trainer, has seen some painful at-bats the last few innings.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stay in. He'll wander back into the batter's box. He walked his last time, which is also interesting. Kay, coming into the game tonight, he has a high walk rate, but it's all been righties. He walked 18 righties on the season, 1 lefty. 2 lefties have drawn walks tonight. Naylor and Cole Young. Here comes the 0-2 to Naylor. Sails outside. He takes it for a ball. Kay has been trying to find his command all night. He's closing in on 70 pitches already with 1 out in the 3rd. Mariners really made him work. He steps into the 1-2. Swung on, fouled off near the first base dugout. So, would the Mariners have liked more runs so far? Yes, but it's guaranteed that Kay is not going to go deep into this ball game. 67 pitches. Here's the 1-2. That's a touch outside. Naylor watches it all the way in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kay was good his last time out against the Royals. 6 innings of 2-run ball. He kicks, deals. Swung on, popped up. On the infield, first base side, Murakami over near the bag, reaches up, makes the catch. That's the 2nd out. You're with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. Mariners looking for a series win, winning last night 6-1. Ryan Wu was excellent. 6 innings, did not allow a run. 8 strikeouts. Lots of fireworks offensively. Here's Patrick Wisdom. Picked up the RBI in the game. 1-0 Mariners. Here's the pitch. Sails way outside, not close. Wisdom, 88 career home runs. Here's the 1-0 to him. That's a strike on the corner. Right on the upper edge, a cutter. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wisdom steps down, adjusts the batting gloves. Back in the batter's box now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Okay. Delivers. In the dirt. A changeup. 2-1, and Kay is over 70 pitches now. This is Wisdom's 2nd game in a Mariners uniform. He steps into the 2-1. Swung on, skied to right field. Kelnick coming in. Meidroth is out. Meidroth is calling for it. He'll take it. And the Mariners go 1-2-3 in the 3rd inning. So nothing doing in the 3rd. We head to the 4th. Mariners leading 1-0 over the White Sox on the Mariners.
Problem now down the left field line is one of the carts looks like it ran out of gas. This is something out of Keystone Cops right here.
Michael Lorenzen might be in the market for a new glove. Chuck that one in the trash can.
Dropped it on the grass as the pitch was coming.
Nobody's out here to take it away.
Whoops.
The bat even goes farther as a torpedo when it's thrown into the stands. Look at this.
How do you like that? Have you ever seen that before?
It just disappeared.
I thought it might have been a home run.
Liner to center field. It is Peters. Oh, what a catch in center. Tristan Peters with the robbery. Fly ball center field. That is absolutely crushed. That is some big time power. 457 feet.
It is nice to get a lead, though.
Sends this one high in the air. Back it goes. Get out. 2nd home run tonight for Murakami. The first time he has done that in his career. Julio going back to the 1 track near the wall, leaps up and he makes the catch. And right in front of the J-Rod squad, he robs Ryan of a home run. He got him. 13 strikeouts, a career high for Christopher Sanchez. The 2nd shutout of his career.
Welcome back inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. It's 1-0 Mariners. We head to the fourth. Bryce Miller has been excellent. 9 up, 9 down. He'll face the top of the order. Antonacci will lead things off. Grounded is short his first time. Miller into the motion. He deals. First pitch misses low. A curveball. Miller 5 strikeouts so far. 1 foot in front of the other, staring in. Into the wind, he deals. That's in there. Finds the zone on a slider. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Antonacci, left-handed hitter. Batting nearly 300 this year. He's been on fire lately, too. Here's the 1-1. Swung on ground ball past Miller, behind the bag at second, scooped up by Colt, fires to first in time to get the out. Nice play. He's been busy as a shortstop tonight for the Mariners. Another putout, 10 in a row, knocked down to start this game for Bryce Miller. There comes Murakami, who struck out his first time. He had a thrill before the ball game, had a chance to meet Ichiro before the game, and a visit in the outfield. 17 homers on the season. Here's the pitch to him. Swung on, popped up. That's out of play. White Sox really pack a punch. This past month, no team has hit more home runs than the White Sox. And it's really this middle of the order. Murakami 17, Vargas 11, Montgomery with 13. 3 different guys in double figures already. Here's the 0-1. A half cut, did he go? Did not. Did not chase the slider, so count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bryce, glove at his chest. Number 50 on his back. Into the wind. Delivers. Bounced in. Sweeper. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes Miller's 2-1. Too far inside. He's fallen behind. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that's what's tricky about Murakami. There's a very low chase rate. Does not go out of the zone very often, despite his super high strikeout rate. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and missed. He was going for it. 97 heat. A big cut by Murakami. He goes down to 1 knee, but comes up empty. He calls time, so 3 balls, 2 strikes. If you get him out, if you strike him out, you've got to do it in the zone for the most part, which is dangerous because he can clobber a baseball. Here comes the 3-2. Too high, ball 4. That's the first base runner for the White Sox. A 1-out walk here in the 4th inning. Bryce Miller had retired the first 10 he saw, so Murakami on first base. That brings up Miguel Vargas. Vargas last year had his career high 16 home runs. He's on pace to smash that. Already 11 this season. The pitch to him. Swung on, popped up. Behind home plate. Garver off with the mask. He's near the stands. Does he have room? Yes, he does. He makes the catch leaning over. Nearly brushing up on the sidewall. Just enough room. Garver puts it away. And that's the 2nd out. It's not easy, too. He had to navigate the batter's circle along the way, the on-deck circle. Didn't seem to faze him. Here's Montgomery. Montgomery has been one of the best shortstops in baseball in this early part of the season. 2 outs, runner at first base. Here's the pitch from Bryce. Swung on. Little cue shot down the third base side, foul. If you look at F-WAR in the American League for shortstops, no surprise, Witt is leading. That's who the Mariners will see next in Kansas City as they hit the road after this series. Montgomery is actually 2nd in the American League. He leads all shortstops and home runs with 13. He's off to a wonderful start this season. He's been a big part of this surge. The White Sox have won 7 of their past 9 games. Runner at first base. Mariners leading 1-0, 4th inning. Miller delivers. Swung on, popped up, short center field. Emerson racing back. Julio is in. Julio calling for the ball, makes the catch as Cole Emerson peels out of the way at the last moment with a stampeding Julio coming in to make the grab. So, Bryce Miller allows a walk, but that's it, as he has been excellent. He's retired 12 of...
Te encantan los jugadores. Te encanta el juego.
¡Y se fue!
Ahora puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas, jerseys autografiados y más, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores agregados toda la temporada. Cada artículo es autenticado por MLB para asegurar que lo que llega directamente a tu hogar es original. ¿Quieres una parte del juego? Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Bryce Harper will lead things off as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. That one's hit well. Out toward right center field. It is gone! Home run, Bryce Harper. First of the year. It's a 5-3 game. That was a pretty swing.
Yeah, that's the way you turn on a ball.
I got to believe that felt just absolutely wonderful for Bryce Harper. He needed that.
It's only the 3rd hit in 24 at-bats, but that's 425 feet.
That's my security right there. That's the bad one, Roscoe Pico train.
Major League Baseball wanted to start doing something with the players and their dogs.
Which one's the dog?
I was undecided on whether to do a dog card or not, but my wife pushed me in the back and she wanted a famous dog, so she told me to do it.
Don't miss War, Friday, July 17th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Connor Joe will lead off for the Mariners. Bottom of the 4th, Mariners leading 1-0. Bryce Miller has been excellent. Here's the pitch to Joe. That's down low. We just saw Luis Castillo walking side by side with Andres Munoz walking out to the bullpen. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, roped right to third base, snared by Vargas. He snow-coned it as he reached up, made the catch, and that's 7 in a row, knocked down by K. 1 away. Hey, cheers to 50 seasons. Enter now to win a chance to attend Seattle Mariners 50 season celebration night thanks to Corona. Just go to cbisweeps.com/Corona Mariners 50 seasons to learn more. No purchase necessary. 21 or older. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer. The pitch to Garver. Swung on. That's hit pretty well left field, but playable. Antonacci over, calling for it in the gap now. Takes one step back, makes the catch. Quickly, 2 away. 8 in a row, knocked down by K. So Castillo is in the outfield now. They're in the bullpen now. We'll see if he starts to go through his routine. Meanwhile, Bryce Miller has pitched 4 innings and only allowed 1 base runner. It was by a walk. Here's the pitch to Cole Young. That's a strike. We talked about interesting decision points that could come up. Well, this would be one of the most interesting ones if this trend continued. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, hit hard, but to the second baseman. Madrat scooting to his left, scoops it up. Little lob toss to first base. In plenty of time to get Cole Young, and the Mariners go 1-2-3. All of a sudden, K has really settled in.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back, bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grid, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new daily walk-off, locking your players.
Played poorly off the sidewall by Carpenter. How far will Bobby go? And Vance Wilson is going to let him come to the plate. He is in there.
To say Bobby is on a tear is an understatement. His gap-to-gap power and that lightning speed have him among the major league leaders in hits, stolen bases, and WAR. He also just happens to be one of baseball's premier defensive players.
Goodness, that's why he's one of the best in the game.
That is how you win a Gold Glove in back-to-back seasons, and last year earned a Platinum Glove.
Baseball fans are bearing witness to something special.
He's their go-to guy in all situations, whether it's defensively, offensively, running the bases, complete player.
A primetime player in his prime.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Well, we head to the top of the fifth inning. The Mariners leading the White Sox by a score of 1-0. They got that run in the bottom of the first inning. In the meantime, Bryce Miller has been outstanding. 4 scoreless innings. White Sox without a hit. Here's Chase Mydroth. The windup and the pitch on the way, and it's high and outside for ball 1. So Miller holding up his end of the bargain. In the meantime, Luis Castillo, the other starter, scheduled to work tonight behind Bryce Miller, out there in the bullpen. Here's the windup and the 1-0 pitch on the Mydroth. Strike called, and the count is even, a 1-1 strike. Miller has retired 10, 11, 12 of the 13 batters he's faced. The only base runner, a 1-out walk to Murakami in the top of the fourth inning. That's been it. Now the 1-1. Swinging a fly ball straightaway center field. Julio drifting back to the warning track. He's there and will make the catch on the middle of the warning track, so 1 away for the White Sox here in the top of the fifth inning. Say, friends, come see why everyone visits Sandberg Volvo Cars in Linwood, the only Excellence Award winner in the entire Northwest. State-of-the-art dealership there, amazing selection of new and pre-owned Volvos, and because you're going to come in as a friend and leave us part of the family with a great car, Sandberg Volvo Cars in Linwood at SandbergVolvoCars.com. Here's Andrew Benintendi. Look in by Miller, the wind, and he delivers. Check swing, it's down and in. Did he go? He did not. He peeled down to the third base umpire. Bryce Miller in with a sign from Garver. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Benintendi is swinging a miss at a good slider. Bryce has done a really good job of mixing in that pitch along with a live fastball at 97, 98, 99 at times. Good velocity. The windup of the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And there's a splitter. And now the count is 1-2 on Benintendi. So Bryce has the full assortment of pitches. Looking to the bullpen. Luis Castillo just sitting out of the pen with a hoodie on. It's a little bit chilly tonight here in the Northwest. The windup and the 1-2 pitch, swinging a pop-up, shallow center field. Emerson going out. Julio coming in, calling for it. He's there and makes the easy catch for out number 2. And now Bryce Miller has retired 14 of the last 15 batters he's faced. What a performance by Bryce. His second start of the year. Finally came off the IL last Wednesday in Houston on May the 13th. No decision in a 4-3 loss against the Astros, but he pitched in the 6th inning, went 5 1/3, gave up just 2 runs, 1 walk, and he struck out 3. Here's Jared Kelnick. Kelnick struck out in the 3rd. The wind of the pitch, swinging a foul out of play in the third base side. Late on the fastball from Bryce, and the count is 0-1. So Bryce Miller, only his second start of the season. Last year, 4-6, battled some injuries. Next offer on the way, strike 2 called on the outside corner. 0-2 on Kelnick. He had that issue with the bone spur in his elbow and missed a lot of time last year. He was out for 94 days. He came back toward the end of the year and made 2 outstanding starts in the postseason, both against the Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series. Pitched in 2 wins. The windup and the 0-2 to Kelenic. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's going to retire the side. What a night for Bryce Miller. That is strikeout number 8 on the evening for Bryce. He has gone 5 scoreless innings. The White Sox without a hit.
Sidearm delivery and a comebacker. There's the good athleticism. He throws the glove to first for the out. The ball was stuck in his glove. What an intelligent play by El Duque.
That reminds me of Terry Mulholland 12 years ago against the New York Mets.
And it's a good reminder for all you youngsters out there. If you're going to catch a glove with a ball wedged into it, use 2 hands like Tino Martinez did.
Boomer is the dog. Said he looked good. I just followed his picture all the way. And there he is. Boomer's dad.
That was kind of a change from the everyday thing that we normally do as far as baseball cards are concerned.
Hey, I have a Labrador. Where's my card?
You know, a little bit different, and it turned out to be a fun experience.
It was just when the camera crew tried to leave that there was a problem. You can't leave.
Unafraid to attack the strike zone.
1-0. Sends a charge to center field. Scott looks up and watches it fly out of the ballpark.
Take you back to that long ball, Nick Kurtz. This is when you know the big fella's going well. You start to see him drive balls out of the big part of the yard, center, left center, the other way. Become a hallmark of that power stroke for the lefty.
The fun kicks off with a 90s themed show on Friday, May 29th against the D-backs. Get your tickets and check out the complete lineup at mariners.com/fireworks.
Shortstop Colt Emerson will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning, and he takes a strike from Anthony Kay, who has settled in very well after a rocky first inning. 1-0 Mariners. The windup and the 0-1, and it's up and in, and that hits Colt. So Emerson hit for the very first time. Lunked on his right shoulder. He's all right. Now the Mariners have a man on, and that'll bring up Rob Refsnyder. Anthony Kay looked like in the first inning he wasn't going to make it out of the first inning, but here he is now with 1 out and nobody out to the bottom of the 5th. He threw 35 pitches in that bottom of the first inning, faced 7 batters, walked 2 and hit a batter. Here's the pitch on the way, and that misses to Refsnyder, ball 1. He walked Naylor, he walked Joe, he hit Randy Rosarena. Julio Rodriguez had a single. Mariners had the bases loaded twice, but he managed only the 1 run. Here's a toss over to first base as Emerson gets back to the bag. Colt can run. I was talking to him when I came in about 12:30 this afternoon. Colt was already here at the ballpark after his big night last night. The stretch and the pitch to Refsnyder, swing and a miss, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. The pitch that he hit out of the ballpark for his first major league hit was a changeup that was down, and he went down and got it. I said, "Did you feel like he got it?" He said, "No." But it went out about 2-3 rows back. Here's a swing and a foul out of play down the right field side, and the count 1-2. But he said he was able to get the barrel on it and got it out to right field. And man, this place just erupted. His mom and dad and family and friends, so did they, sitting in the stands last night. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 on the way to Refsnyder, swing and a miss for strike 3. And the Mariners have 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now Kay, after struggling in the first, has retired 10 of the last 11 batters he's faced. Here's Julio. Julio with the only hit in this game. Here we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 batters into the 5th. There's only been 1 hit. Julio with a single to left center. That was a scorching line drive. The stretch and the pitch. Swinging a pop-up. into shallow right center field. Peters started back. Now he races in. Peters calling for it, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 down, 1 on. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Mariners Radio Network. Well, 1 on, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Mariners. Here's Randy Rosarena swinging a half swing bouncer to the right side of the mound, taken by Kay. Backhanded shovel toss over to the first baseman Murakami. It's in time to get a Rosarena, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on after 5.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game, and everything in between. This is baseball your way, with real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
I was in AAA, and right before the game, they said, no, you got to stop. You need to hurry up and go to Cincinnati. You're about to go play a game there. You got 45 minutes till the game starts. So I get in my car and I start driving, and all I keep thinking about is, which jersey are they wearing that night? So when I get to the locker room, I see my jersey hung up, and love the white jerseys, just the stitching on it, the old school feel to it.
It's a pretty wild game so far. Mariners and the White Sox. Tristan Peters leading things off. Bryce Miller. He goes into the motion. Here comes his pitch to Peters. Swung on, ripped right side. It's through for a base hit, trickling down the line. Picked up by Connor Joe in the corner. Peters around first base, fly for 2. The throw is wild. It gets away. Randy backing up, scoops it up. Peters on second base with a double. The White Sox have their very first hit of the ball game. And just like that, they have the tying run at second base.
Good hustle by Randy Rosarena, the left fielder, as Connor Joe skied that throw over the head of Colt Emerson at second, trying to get Peters, but Randy was there along the left field line to make sure that Peters stayed at second, didn't go to third.
Here's Caro. He's the 9th hitter, the catcher for the White Sox. Corners playing in. 1-0 Mariners. Both teams with 1 hit now. Bryce checks second. He deals. Swung on a miss. Got the fastball by him at 96. No movement from Castillo in the bullpen. Now he's taking the hoodie off, and Castillo will start to loosen up on the mound. Tyler Davis getting loose for the White Sox in their bullpen. The 0-1. Up and in. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Ferrer starting to throw as well. The reason for that, Castillo will get a clean inning. If they have to go to someone to relieve Miller here, it will be a pivot guy. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, foul back. And the reason Ferrer is getting loose is Murakami is lurking. That spot is circled, especially with the runner at second base and nobody out. After Caro and Tanachi, Murakami, then Vargas. Here comes the 1-2. upstairs. Overthrows a four-seam at 96. We haven't seen the same velocity as we saw early in the game. He was up to 98. Boardman 96. We saw 94 last inning. Miller bent at the waist, peering in. He's set. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looking for a punch out. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Went high heat, 97. Blows it by Carroll. Another strikeout for Bryce Miller. He's retired 16 of the 18 he has seen tonight. He's been sensational. Top of the order. Here with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth.
And 9 strikeouts for Bryce Miller, his career high, Gary. 11 in a game last year in September against the Angels. Excuse me. 7 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts.
He's been at doubles a few times in his career. He's been at double figures 5 different times in his career. A couple times against the Angels.
He likes the Angels.
Now, speaking of the Angels, they're fighting it out with the A's right now in Anaheim as we take a look at the Northwest Chevy Equinox scoreboard. Meeting broken up. Antonacci's tough. He's 0 for 2 in the game so far. Runner at second base. 1-0 Mariners. Here comes the pitch. It's low, taken for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Ace had built a fairly big lead early on in the game. It's 6 runs on the board early. A 6-run third inning, but the Angels have cut it. It's now 6-4 in the 5th inning from Anaheim. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, skied into the seats. On the first base side, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Miller's over 70 pitches. Both Castillo and Ferrer throwing. Murakami on deck. Antonacci in May has an on-base over 400. He's been hot. The 1-1. Swung on, driven left field. Randy racing back, backpedaling. He's on the track now, reaches up, makes the catch. No tag at second base. Peters holds. That's the second out. Now decision time with Murakami stepping to the plate. Do the Mariners go get Ferrer here? Miller's been excellent all night. He's allowed just 1 hit. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Here comes Dan Wilson. He has not signaled yet. And he has. He'll go get the lefty. So Miller, excellent tonight. He'll give way to Ferrer. Murakami, lefty on lefty matchup with 2 outs, tying run at second base. Mariners going to the pen right here. We'll come back with more right after this on the Mariners Radio Network.
There are trucks, and then there's the 2026 GMC Sierra. It's the truck. We are professional grade. During GMC Truck Month, well-qualified buyers.
Territory. Mike Felder was there, but could not hold on to the ball. Like he had it.
There's the ball there, and then that ball comes out of somebody's glove in the stands.
See, he thought the ball at his feet
was the ball in play.
Was the ball in play? He did, and he slapped his own glove, thinking he had missed the catch when in essence he had it.
That is weird. That is a very weird play, and I don't ever want to see it again.
Vegas. Must be 18 plus. See Swinomish for details.
Well, the new pitcher for the Mariners will be left-hander Jose Ferrer. He's been outstanding out of the Mariners bullpen this season. Ferrer 0-1 with a 1.61 ERA, making his 24th appearance of the year. He has a couple of saves. His last 14 outings, he has a 0.63 earned run average. Bryce Miller, in the meantime, absolutely fantastic. 5 2/3 innings, gave up only one hit.
Here we go. Murakami bats the pitch. That's outside. Bryce Miller, our working hard player of the game, brought to you by Danner and Whistle Workwear. For the ones working hard every day, Danner available at Whistle Workwear. Mariners leading 1-0. Top of the sixth. Ferrer on, facing Murakami. Ferrer doing some landscaping on the mound. Didn't like his landing spot on the first pitch. Murakami, 17 home runs on the season. Here comes the 1-0. That's in there. Of his home run total, 13 have been against righties, 4 have been against lefties. The 1-1. Strike. 96, a two-seam over the edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferrer in the driver's seat. Peters, a leadoff double. He's at second base. That was the only hit Miller gave up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferrer set. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Caught him. A slider. Murakami swings through. Ferrer gets it done. He punches out Murakami. He leaves the tying run at second base in the 6th. Mariners keep the 1-0 lead. We head to the bottom of the 6th. This has been a good one. 1-0 Mariners.
We're talking about power. We're talking about bling. This is the stuff that puts people in the seats.
Ruth's adoring fans pitched in to gift a crown fit for the home run king.
How come the fans didn't, put something together for me?
They gave you a nice round of applause.
Good job, Carlos.
That man is 42 years old. I'm only 22. Until that man stay on that mound, nobody's going to take me out of this game.
Okay, let me see what I can do about it. Right now, I feel like I can go over there and go placata right now on the field just because I held this bat, Willie Mays. I'm not giving it back to you. You need it back? Okay, you can continue talking.
Right, and you're just going to hold on to it? Yeah.
Hammer and Hank became baseball's all-time home run king.
Hank Aaron flipped the bat, pointed to the outside, and said, "Placata."
Every single Triple Crown winner has been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So it looks pretty good for Miggy. Just saying.
Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
Yes, Scooter, you made the phrase, holy cow, popular. So, at this time, Scooter, your friends have decided to present you with your own holy cow. I'm not sure that was rehearsed beforehand.
Factory authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. Whatever it takes.
First pitch to Naylor's on the corner for a strike. Kay still out there. 1-0 Mariners, bottom of the 6th. Tyler Davis, a righty, is ready to go in the bullpen. All kinds of righties due up next. Here comes the 0-1. That's inside, but challenged by Carroll. Now, what the White Sox have to account for, the Mariners bench features Canzone, Raley, and J.P. Crawford. A lot of lefties to counter if they go to a righty next. K's retired 12 of 13, but he's at 88 pitches. As that was a strike, barely. Just getting the edge. So no balls, 2 strikes on Naylor. Mariners got a run in the first. That's been it so far, 1-0. Both teams with 1 hit. Here's the 0-2. Swung on a miss. Chased the ball out of the zone. 5th strikeout for K. He's retired 13 of 14. Here comes Venable. It looks like that's going to be it. He's going to go to the bullpen and get a righty, so we'll see how the Mariners start.
Jacob Young gets the wall, and he has it. The league's leading hitter just robbed by Brandon Lau.
O'Neill dives and makes a tremendous catch.
That's why they call it hot, right?
Another great play by Brooks Lee at short. Now Lewis with a diving stop. Strong defense on the left side again tonight. Caught by Bryson Stott. What a play.
Well, that is a gold glove play by Ellie De La Cruz.
Off balance throw, and what a play. Matt Bierling takes away a hit.
A diving catch by DeZenzo.
And he steals a hit from Murakami. Jumps up and reaches back to make the catch.
That is a highlight play for the ages right there.
He keeps the game alive. A terrific diving catch.
And Joe Adele takes a run away.
Yeah! What a play by Bogey from short left field. It's caught on a leap by Cole Young. Tawa tested right away. New guy all the way to the wall. And he's got it. Tim Tawa. Wow. He hits one high and deep to left field. Eugenio Suarez gets the Diamondbacks on the board. Suarez fly ball. And it's gone. Suarez hits another fly ball. Gone. Oh, my. Suarez. Fly ball. There's 4. There have been 19 four-homer games in Major League history.
A dead behind the eyes.
Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. Global comedy heavyweight Jim Jeffries, June 18th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit EmeraldQueen.com.
Miller time. It only happens if you make it happen. So say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Live a little. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, the Mariners with a 1-0 lead, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's it for Anthony Kay, who struggled mightily in the bottom of the 1st inning through 35 pitches, but he ended up going 5 1/3. Tyler Davis will take over in relief.
Patrick Wisdom batting here. 1 out, bases empty. Mariners up 1. Here's the pitch. That's upstairs. Big key to this one. And the legendary moment of the game brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. When it's game time, it's Miller time. Ferrer ending last inning with a Murakami strikeout. The 1-0. That's in there. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis did pitch against the Mariners in Chicago. He gave up a 3-run home run to Luke Raley in the first game of that series. Raley lurking on the bench. The 1-1. Outside. 97 on the heater. 2 balls, 1 strike. Castillo is throwing in the pen. He'll take the ball next for the Mariners. M's on top 1-0. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on, popped up. That's out of play behind home plate.
Gary looking inside the Mariners dugout. Luke Raley has a bat in his hand and a helmet in the other hand. He's ready to go.
Connor Joe is on deck. That seems like a spot for Raley. Joe playing right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside. Well, Wisdom would love to get on base for Raley. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Mariners. Full count. Davis set from the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well, right center field. Peters over, he's at the track. Now he gives way to Kelnick, who makes the catch on a back pedal just in front of the wall. 2 outs. And so they will not go to Raley in this situation now. Joe will take the at-bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. You're with us inside the Western Washington Toyota radio booth. Davis set. Here's the pitch. Strike. Gets ahead, 0-1. White Sox bullpen is quiet now. The 0-1. That misses wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a large group of fans upper deck right field. Shirts off, waving their shirts above their head. Channing, here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Channing for Connor Joe to get into one. 1-0 Mariners. Bottom of the 6th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis set. He deals. Strike 3 called. Joe goes down looking. The Mariners go 1-2-3. So here we go. Luis Castillo will take the ball as we head to the 7th, protecting a 1-0 lead when we come back right after this.
Liner to center field. It is Peters. Oh, what a catch in center. Tristan Peters with the robbery.
Fly ball center field. That is absolutely crushed. That is some big time power. 457 feet.
It is nice to get a lead, though. Sends this one high in the air. Back it goes. Get out. Second home run tonight for Murakami. The first time he has done that in his career.
Julio going back to the one-inning track near the wall, leaps up and he makes the catch. And right in front of the J-Rod squad, he robs Duran of a home run.
He got him. 13 strikeouts, a career high for Christopher Sanchez. The second shutout of his career.
Leading off against the lefty Brandon Williamson is O'Neal Cruz here.
Oh, my.
Fly ball, right center field, and O'Neal Cruz with his first Cruz missile of the year. Off the lefty, Brandon Williamson. Cruz crushes it. Pirates get the run back. They lead 6-1.
That's a beautiful thing. You ride it out for times just like that. It's just a special talent. It comes together like that, and you're very thankful because he can change the scoreboard.
Well, here we go. Luis Castillo takes the mound here to a big roar here at T-Mobile Park. Bryce Miller, 5 2/3, 1 hit, no runs. Ferreira getting the final out last inning. And now Luis Castillo gets the ball in a 1-0 game in the 7th inning. That's our Muckleshoot Casino Resort Pen Report. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Luis Castillo, 252 career regular season appearances, all starts. He'll face Vargas here, right-handed hitter. He's got pop. Castillo into the motion. Here comes the pitch. That's in there, a strike over the corner, 95 miles per hour. Now Castillo has come out of the bullpen one time in his career. One of the most important appearances of his career. Here's the 0-1. That's down low. You think back to Game 5 in this building against the Tigers. Castillo came out of the pen. He got the final out of the 14th inning, and he pitched a clean 15th inning that set the table for that dramatic win against the Tigers. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, fouled away. So he has done this before.
Once.
252
starts.
Although the stakes were very high when he did it.
Exactly. I like the way he's come out throwing strikes. That was maybe an issue, but it doesn't appear to be.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Got him. Castillo, 96. He gets Vargas. Firing rockets out of the pen. One away in the 7th.
Not an issue at all. Coming on in relief. Getting loose while Bryce Miller was absolutely sensational tonight in the second game of this series. Great fastball on the outside corner, so he's come out throwing strikes.
Here's Montgomery. Into the wind. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. No balls, a strike, 1 out. 7th inning. Castillo on. Mariners scored in the first. That's been it. Both teams still with 1 hit. Into the wind. Here's the pitch. Inside, he backs him off the plate. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike to Montgomery. The slugging shortstop who's 0 for 2. The only hit for the White Sox, a leadoff double in the 6th by Peters. He was stranded. Miller got the next 2 outs, and then Ferrer struck out Murakami. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. That was beautiful. A changeup that danced low. He swings through. It's 1-2. Fans in the upper deck, they want to strike out. That's what they want. Castillo, glove in front of his face. He's into the motion. Here's the 1-2. Just outside. In fact, that Ferrer out that we were just talking about, that's the save of the game brought to you by BECU. It's always a good time to save. Learn more about the BECU Early Saver account at becu.org/Early Saver. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. 97 upstairs. Montgomery whiffs. Second strikeout for Castillo.
And that was on the heels of 2 outstanding changeups breaking down. Then he goes heater up top. The swing and a miss by Montgomery. And what a performance of the first 2 batters that Castillo has made against Vargas and Montgomery.
Here's Meidroth. Castillo into the wind. He deals. In there. Starts him with a slider. He's ahead 0-1. So Castillo, so far so good. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. Trying to put down the White Sox in order. Into the motion. The 0-1. Strike. A slider at the knees. Oh, if he strikes out Meidroth, this building is going to lose it. No balls, 2 strikes. Sliding out of the head. Here's the 0-2. A little chopper down the third base line that just scoots foul, picked up by Garver. He just got a piece on a slider. So he's thrown 3 sliders to Meidroth.
Sliders down, the changeup down, right around the knees. Let's see what he does here, because that fastball has been electric up in the strike zone.
Yeah, see if he goes back to that. It's been a great pitch for him. His last strikeout at 97. Meidroth back in the box. No balls, 2 strikes. Luis Castillo. Into the wind. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, foul back. That was the 4-seam. He gets enough to stay alive. Now we'll see if he goes back to the slider or another 4-seam upstairs. No balls, 2 strikes. Castillo winds, delivers. Just off the plate. Another slider. Just missed the edge. No chase that time. 1-2. Castillo, a kicking swipe with the rubber. A deep breath. Winds. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Caught him. Fastball by Meidroth. Castillo waltzes in. He fends 3 in a row. White Sox go down 1, 2, 3. All on punch-outs from Luis Castillo in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0. Mariners to lead over the White Sox on the Mariners Radio Network.
Some overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
Okay, I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs. And then next day, I got to eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me. And then when my mom is with me, everything's good. I save a lot of money.
Estamos leyendo. The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Here's Mitch Garver to lead off the bottom of the 7th. The pitch to him is wide. Mariners leading 1-0. Your Mechanics Bank score, both teams with 1 hit. Mariners scored in the first inning. They have made it stand. The pitch. Down low. The atmosphere has been sensational. The fans in the upper deck waving their shirts over their heads. The section continues to grow as this game goes along. Here's the 2-0. Upstairs, 3 balls, no strikes. You can hear their chants loud and clear. Mariners looking for traffic. Davis got the final 2 outs in the 6th. Here comes the 3-0. That's in there. A strike. 3-1 now on Garver. Cole Young on deck, then Colt Emerson. Ref Snyder's spot due up after that, but the Mariners have Rayleigh, Canzone, and JP all on the bench. The 3-1. In there. Garver challenges. Well, he's been excellent as a catcher this year. We'll see if he wins this one as a hitter. This will be a walk if he wins it. It is a strike. It's a good try. So full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Garver takes time. Gives us a chance to take a look at who's hot. Brought to you by Fireside Home Solutions. Check them out for the perfect garage door, outdoor living space, or fireplace. Bellevue, Auburn, Spokane, or Portland. Or firesidehomesolutions.com. Our great friends at Fireside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Garver. Outside ball 4. Walked him. Who's hot as the Mariners pitching tonight? It's been dynamite. Miller, 5 2/3. Ferrer, a third. Castillo, 1 inning. They've combined for 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs, and 11 punch-outs. And now the Mariners looking for insurance. They lead 1-0. They want more. Here's Cole Young. The pitch. Swung on, driven right back to the screen. Foul. No balls, a strike. Garver a small lead at first base. Colt Emerson on deck. Here's the offer. Up and in.
Gary, the shirtless crowd in the upper deck of right field just seems to be getting larger and larger.
Yeah, it's just growing as we go.
More fans are going up there.
It started as 1 section, now it's 5. Here's the 1-1. On the corner, just in there, a slider, 1-2. By the way, the A's have extended their lead on the Angels as we take a quick look at the Northwest Chevy Equinox scoreboard. It's 8-4 in the 6th inning. A's lead the Angels. We'll continue to watch that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first, no outs. Mariners up 1-0. The pitch. Swung on a dribbler, foul. Just scoots first base side near the Mariners dugout. Mariners in the first inning, Julio picked up a base hit, the second batter for the Mariners, then a hit by pitch, a walk, a fielder's choice by Wisdom, scored the run, and that's been it. That's the only run and the only hit for the Mariners. White Sox have just 1 hit. Garver at first base on a walk. The 1-2. Swung on, fouled away, straight back. Still 1-2. Lefty getting loose in the bullpen for the White Sox. Here's the offer. Swung on, popped up. That's out of play. Cole Young being pesky here. Isert, who we saw yesterday, is warming. Mariners a 1-0 lead. Looking to extend that lead here. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. That was a splitter low. Cole swings through. He's punched out. Now we'll bring up Cole Emerson. Emerson, who homered last night. What a thrill that was. He'll bat with Garver at first base. The pitch. That's in there for a strike. One of the youngest Mariners to ever homer in a game. Only 7 Mariners 20 or younger have homered in a game. The 0-1. That's a strike over the corner. So he joins some rare company. No balls, 2 strikes. Garver, small lead at first base. Davis set. He deals to Cole. Swung on a missed. Went upstairs on a fastball. Swings through 97. Couple of strikeouts in a row. That turns it over to the top of the order. Refsnyder is 2 up and will bat. Mariners know a lefty is waiting in the bullpen, so it looks like they prefer this Davis-Refsnyder matchup as opposed to Isert-Rayleigh matchup. Here's the pitch. That's low. Or can zone, because that pitch has been challenged. Let's see. It's not showing up on the board. Everyone's looking at the board and nothing's happening. It's usually instantaneous.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this, is that it happens right away. But
so it looks like the White Sox lost. It's still 1-0. Umpire just verbally told us. 2 outs, runner at first base. Refsnyder batting. The pitch. Swung on and missed. A high fastball. He has struck out a couple of times, grounded out. Davis set. He deals. That's in there. 1-2 on Refsnyder. Right side is wide open. Mydroth playing near the bag at second. Garver being held at first. He takes off. Here's the pitch. It's swung on and missed. 3 straight strikeouts after the leadoff walk here in the 7th, so the Mariners couldn't push anything across. We head to the 8th. 1-0 Mariners with the lead on the Mariners.
Wow. It's like an Academy Award came to life. How long do you think that took to get ready?
You know, it's really not fun facing a guy with that kind of stuff, I'll just tell you that.
Presented without comment.
It's a raft. It's got an outboard motor. It's got a little barbecue, and it's got a hot tub. Look at that. I mean, come on.
American ingenuity.
That is living. What else can go wrong here?
Where are the Angels in the outfield? They're everywhere.
And if you want a Cy Young, 73, 5, and 6, I've got an extra 5. And then it says, has worked as a TV commentator. You know, and I did start back in 1978. I did the Yankees and the Red Sox playing the 1-game playoff. And ABC said if the Yankees win, Reggie will play, and then you'll go broadcast with Howard Cosell and Keith Jackson. And that's how I started my broadcast. And that's the Bucky Dent home run. So every time I see Bucky Dent, I go, thank you for making me a broadcaster.
They'll only be able to get one if they can get that. Here, John bobbles the ball, and Jim Hilton. They're going to try to score again there. Should have stayed out of the way both times.
Tommy made 2 errors. 3 errors?
They can't give him 3 errors.
That is something. 3 errors on 1 play. Wow.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
the top of the 8th inning. The Mariners lead 1-0. They got that one run way back at the bottom of the first. That was on a fielder's choice. We've got a combined 2 hits in this game. One for the Mariners and the other one for the White Sox, and that has been it. The piggyback experiment has been great for the Mariners. Here's Andrew Benintendi to lead things off in the top of the 8th inning. Luis Castillo struck out the side when it came on in the 7th. The pitch on the way to Benintendi is outside for ball 1. In the meantime, starter Bryce Miller was absolutely outstanding. He threw a gem, 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball, gave up only 1 hit. Next offer is strike on Benintendi, and the count is even, a 1-1 strike. Miller walked only 1, and he struck out 7. So the piggyback starters have been great for the Mariners tonight against Chicago. Now the 1-1 on the way, swinging a ground ball up the first base line. Right behind the bag is Naylor. He's got an underhand flip to Luis at the bag, and it's in time to get Benintendi on the weak ground ball, and there's 1 away. And by the way, this call to the bullpen, bringing in Castillo in the 7th, brought to you by the Sunset Auto Family in Sumner and Auburn. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that. Glad you could tune in tonight on a cool, chilly night, but it doesn't affect all those kids up there in the bleachers in right field, that crowd with the shirts off up there, enjoying the game. Here's Jared Kelnick, and Kelnick takes a look at ball 1 from Luis. I guess this trend started in St. Louis, called Tarps Off, and it's kind of caught on around baseball. Here's the windup, and the 1-0 on the way, swing and a foul off of Garver, and the count is even on Kelnick at 1 ball and 1 strike. Luis Castillo trying to make that one thin run hold up that the Mariners scored at the bottom of the first inning. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Time is called as Kelnick backs away from home plate. The former Mariner is 0 for 2 tonight. He has fanned twice. Jose Ferrer came on for Bryce to face Murakami. You kind of knew that was going to happen. Here's the windup, and the 1-1 on the way. It's a little bit low to Kelnick. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. But Tristan Peters in the top of the 6th inning had a leadoff double. Bryce came back to strike out Caro. He got Antonucci to fly out to Randy in left field. Here's the pitch. Strike on the inside corner. The count is even on Kelnick at 2-2. And Murakami came up, the hard-hitting, left-handed hitting first baseman for the White Sox. And that's when Dan Wilson went to go get Ferrer, and he struck him out to retire the side. The windup and the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul out of play in the third base side, and the count is still even on Kelnick at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, last night's game, the Mariners had 6 runs on 8 hits. White Sox had 1 run on 6 base hits. Tonight, 1-0 our score. The Mariners lead, only 2 hits combined. The windup and the 2-2, swinging a pop-up out of play in the third base side. So Kelnick hanging in there. Still 2-2 with Tristan Peters due up next. Luis Castillo came out right away throwing strikes when he faced Miguel Vargas leading off the 7th. Struck him out. The 2-2. Swing and a foul behind the plate. And the count is still even on Kelnick at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aaron has been talking about this because of the success of the starters. 6 doggone good ones in that rotation. So they double up with Miller and Castillo tonight against Chicago. The windup, and again the 2-2 to Kelnick. It is low and inside with a slider for ball 3. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is an 8-pitch at bat for Kelnick. So he's hung in there. Castillo with 3 strikeouts already. The windup and the 3-2 pitch, swinging a bouncer off the glove of Luis out to the second baseman, Cole Young. He cannot wrangle it in as it skips on by Young on the right side of the infield, trickles into shallow right field. That's going to be a base hit for Kelnick. One hopper back to the mound. Luis reached out, hit off his glove hand, angled the ball out to Cole Young, and Young still had a play on that one if he came up with it. They're going to give Kelnick a base hit. So the White Sox now have their 2nd base hit of the game, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Kelnick over at first base. That's Acuna, Luis Angel Acuna, to run at first. One on, one away. Here's Tristan Peters. And close to third base, Wisdom. Luis, little turn of his shoulder, keeping an eye on Acuna. Gets a lead at first, held on by Naylor, and a throw to first base to get Acuna back to the bag. Peters with the first hit for the White Sox tonight off of Bryce Miller. That came in the top of the sixth inning. That double down the right field line. But he was stranded at second base. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Up high for ball one. 1-0. So between Miller and Ferreira, they pitched around that leadoff double. Mariners hanging on to the 1-0 lead. It's been that way since, well, the bottom of the first inning. Castillo ready. The stretch and the 1-0 to Peters. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and the count is now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Luis has been really good with the fastball up top, the changeup and the slider down in the strike zone to give the hitters a different look in every at bat. Peters back up there, the set by Castillo, and the 1-1 on the way, and it's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. White Sox a game over 500, starting play today. Just 2 games back of Cleveland in second place in the American League Central. Now the look in by Luis, the stretch, and the 2-1 pitch, swinging a foul straight back, and the count is even on Peters at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sox losing 102 games last year and 121 games the year before, which is the new modern-day record for losses in a single season, surpassing the 1962 expansion Mets. Acuna lead at first. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's inside on Peters for ball 3. Full count 3-2. Now let's see if Acuna takes off at first base with the count full. Let's see if Luis makes a move to first to keep an eye on Acuna. Here's the tying run, the stretch. And there's a toss over to first base, and Acuna diving back safely. And that was close. Good move by Luis. Got a feeling that he was going to make a move over to first base, knowing that Acuna is going to be taken off.
They're going to look.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to look at this.
So it's worth the look.
Our first look is interesting.
Naylor's shoe is on the corner of the bag, and Acuna has to reach around the right foot to get his hand on the bag.
That's a nice strategic placement.
Yes. So they're going to take a look at it. So we got a replay review right here to see if whether or not the tag by Naylor on the right shoulder of Acuna was there before the right hand got on the bag.
The angles we see, it's hard to see if he got his fingertips there first. From one angle, it looks like he did.
Well, this one is going to be decided upon by the umpire in the viewing room in Manhattan, as we talked about many times. They've got 20 different angles, 20 different cameras to look at. We only got a couple, if that.
Here's Venable. He is out now to talk to the umpire. I think he is addressing what we were just talking about with Naylor's foot in front of the base.
Well, they're having that conversation with Ryan Blakeney.
I think he's really going to make the case if this goes against the White Sox.
It's pretty obvious that Naylor had his right foot in front of the corner of the bag, and Acuna had to reach around it. Acuna called safe, but the Mariners are looking for a replay review, and hopefully maybe the tag was on time to get it out. That would be huge for the Mariners because Acuna represents the tying run of the ball game. 1-0 Mariners, 1 out here at the top of the 8th inning. This has been a long wait for the umpire to decide in New York.
Yeah. This is one of those where it's handy. They can sync up the different views to look at a bunch of different angles at the exact same time, which I think is key for a play like this. It's hard in just one angle to determine the tag and whether the hand is in. But when you can sync up the views at the same time like you can in New York, they can see it.
As Acuna is diving back to the bag, Naylor is stepping back with his right foot in front of the bag at first base. Here we go. I think we have a decision. maybe not. Not yet. I looked at the home plate umpire, Blakeney. He was walking back toward home plate.
It's a long one.
It's Mike Malinsky who's on the radio. Here we go.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. Seattle loses their count.
That's Trip Gibson, the umpire. So Acuna was back in time on the pickoff move by Luis Castillo. So 1 on and 1 away. So we had a little bit of a delay. Hopefully that doesn't have an effect for Luis. The count is full on Tristan Peters, 3-2. Keep your eyes on Acuna. Gets a lead at first base, and now time is called by Peters. He's not quite settled in. Only 1 run in the game, and the Mariners have that. Only 3 hits in the game. The White Sox have 2 of the 3. Here's the stretch by Castillo. Acuna lead. At first, there he goes. Pitch on the way, and it's down low and inside for ball 4. So Peters draws the walk. And now the White Sox have runners on at first and second with 1 out. And that'll bring up Edgar Carroll. Carroll is 0 for 3 on the day, or is it going to be Carroll? Yeah, it is Carroll. Carroll a couple of days ago had a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th inning, the south side of Chicago, to beat the Cubs 9-8. And Luis Castillo needs a ground ball double play right here to get out of the top of the 8th inning. Mariners lead 1-0, and now the Sox have the tying run at second, and the go-ahead run is out at first base. Carroll is grounded out to Wisdom at third, and Bryce Miller struck him out in the 6th inning. Miller and Castillo getting the work in tonight, and in between, Ferrer getting a big out of Murakami in the 6th inning. Here we go, the stretch, and the pitch to Carroll. Swing and a foul behind the plate, and the count is 0-1. Now, Luis has had that good slider down and the good changeup down, and that's how you get that ground ball double play. Hit hard, hopefully right to Cole Young at second base. Here's the stretch, and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up out of play on the third base side, and now the count is 0-2 on Carroll. So very quickly, Luis out in front of the count, and no balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if he can make him chase, go out of the zone, and hit that ground ball right at somebody. You got Naylor deep at first base. Runners get their leads at second and first, and now time is called by Carroll. 1 foot out of the box, 1 in, and now he's ready to face Castillo. Luis struck out the side in the 7th, trying to get out of a jam here in the 8th inning. 1 out, pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up into shallow left field. Randy coming in. He is there, and Kerplunk makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 outs for the White Sox with 2 on. Huge 2nd out for Luis. No doubt about it. He got plenty in the tank. This guy's a starter. He's a rock. This is his 2nd inning of relief in the piggyback situation tonight with Miller and Castillo. So no question about that. And here is Sam Antonacci. Antonacci can really be a pesky out. He puts the bat on the ball. He has grounded out twice to Emerson and short. He's flied out to Arozarena fairly deep in left field. 2 on, 2 away. Mariners hanging on to that 1-0 lead. The stretch and the pitch to Antonacci is a slider low and inside. They get a fastball for ball 1. That's a movement. Still got the shirtless guys out there in the upper deck cheering on the Mariners. Now the set by Luis. And the veteran right-hander look back. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a bounce foul. Out by the Mariners' first base dugout, and the count is even on Antonacci. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Antonacci backing away from home plate. Now he steps back in. Luis looking for the final out here in the 8th inning. 1-0 Mariners, 2 on, 2 away, and the 1-1 to Antonacci. Swing and a miss at a fastball. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo, a lot of swings and misses. Miller 7 strikeouts. Luis Castillo has 3, looking for another one. Runners get their leads. And the 1-2 pitch on the way to Antonacci. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him. Oh, making a foul ball. A foul ball off of Mitch Garver. I saw Antonacci walking toward the dugout. But on the follow-through, he fell across home plate. and just barely got a piece of it, and it hit off his back foot, his left foot. And that's what he was doing. He was walking off some of the hurt. So the count is still 1-2 on Sam Antonacci. Luis Reddy looking for another strikeout. Runners their leads. Luis Reddy fires away the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball. Emerson at short. He's got it. Throws the first in time to get Antonacci, and that will retire the side as Luis Castillo gets out of a jam. And the Mariners still lead by 1. Sox leave the tying run stranded at second, and the go-ahead run stranded at first. We head to the bottom of the 8th.
If you want a Cy Young, 73, 5, and 6, I've got an extra 5. And then it says, has worked as a TV commentator. You know, and I did start back in 1978. I did the Yankees and the Red Sox playing the one-game playoff. And ABC said if the Yankees win, Reggie will play, and then you'll go broadcast with Howard Cosell and Keith Jackson. And that's how I started my broadcast. And that's the Bucky Dent home run. So every time I see Bucky Dent, I go, thank you for making me a broadcaster.
Just when we think we've seen it all, baseball gives us something new to talk about.
Splits two defenders and makes a great grab.
The kick is good, right through the flying uprights.
Oh, went down inside his chest protector.
That's not a catch?
Make way for Batman.
People would love this if we did Lady and the Tramp.
Ronald Acuna Jr. pouring dirt into Ozzie Albies' glove. He flips the entire glove to first base. Fast and furious and dead on.
Now let's dive into this week's top plays.
Is pulled and a leaping grab by Shoebake. Carson Bench with a pulchritudinous play. Moving fast toward big league stardom. Randy Rosarena! Superman catch! What a leaping grab by Quan.
And those 39-year-old legs are still cooking.
Oh, are you kidding me, Petey? Help it! Oh, hey now, hey now. What a play by Ryan McMahon. How about that?
Your current system or install an energy-efficient Evolution system. Learn more and schedule an appointment with a factory-authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. Whatever it takes.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the White Sox. Mariners lead 1-0. Brian Hudson will take over in relief. The pitch on the way to Julio Rodriguez is a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. And the White Sox now have Acuna out in center field. And Peters takes over in right field for Kelnick. Here's the pitch on the way to Julio. Breaking ball. That's outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Peters now in right. Acuna in center. 1-0 Mariners. Hudson ready. Big left-hander. Fires away. Swinging a ground ball to short. Off to his left, Montgomery. He's got it. Throws the first in time to get Julio. Hustling up the line, and there's 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring up Randy Rosarena.
Acuna still has his hoodie on. No one's throwing in the pen. This is Castillo's game.
Looking for 3 more outs in the top half of the 9th inning.
Murakami will lead off.
Here's Randy Rosarena. Mariners would love an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The pitch by Hudson. Swing and a miss. And a fastball down and in. And the count is 0-1 on Randy.
This would be a good time to run into one.
Randy, 4 home runs on the season. He's been outstanding. Swing of the bat, batting .305 coming into the game. The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's what he wanted to do on that Hudson fastball at 92 miles an hour. And the count is 0-2 now on Randy, with Josh Naylor due up next. Hudson ready, the sign. And now time is called as Randy backs away from home plate. Say, friends, the Mariners' first fireworks night of the season is May 29th. Be here for an epic 90s themed postgame show after the Mariners take on the Diamondbacks, presented by T-Mobile at Warm 106.9. The 0-2 to Randy, swinging a foul out of play in the first base side. Count is still 0-2. Just go to mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets and see the complete fireworks lineup. Always a great show. Hudson with a new baseball. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Mariners. The stretch. And again, the 0-2 on the way to Randy. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. And the Mariners have 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So, yes, indeed, when we go to the top of the 9th inning, Murakami will lead things off, followed by Miguel Vargas and Colson Montgomery, the 3 best hitters in the lineup for the Chicago White Sox. Remember, day baseball tomorrow. Emerson Hancock going for the Mariners. Here is Josh Naylor. The pitch to Josh is outside for ball 1. Naylor 3 hits in last night's game and a couple of stolen bases. Both steals were in the same inning. Here's the stretch by Hudson. And the 1-0 to Josh, swinging a fly ball down the left field line. Shallow, but a long run for Antonacci. Foul territory, running out of room, and he can't get to it. It's into the crowd. That wall that angles down toward the left field corner, well in front of the foul pole. Fan gets to it, and the count is even on Naylor at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Josh trying to get something going with 2 outs and nobody on. Mariners a 1-run that came in the first inning tonight. Here's the stretch and the 1-1 to Naylor. Swing and a miss at a sweeper at 81 miles an hour. Hudson doesn't throw that hard. Fastball at 92. That sweeper at 81. So still a big gap in velocity. And time is called by Josh as he backs away from home plate. So Luis Castillo will go back out there in the top of the 9th inning looking for the final 3 outs in this one. First piggyback game for the Mariners with Miller and Castillo. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swinging a chopper, past the mound, past the pitcher, charged to the second baseman, Meidroff. He's got it to throw to first, and it's in time to get Naylor, and that will retire the side. Meidroff had to hurry, and he did. Well, we go to the top of the 9th inning. Last try for the White Sox. Our mechanics back.
This one's driven out to right. Carrying way back and out of here. 3/4 of the way up the bleachers for Dale and Lyle. Heating up indeed, his 4th of the year. And it's 3-0 Nats.
Oh, yeah, there they are. There's the fam. He blew him kisses going over there. 106 off the bat, and that ball was scorched. We had high fives everywhere. Smile. What a sweet swing.
They say it's a game of numbers, pero el flow es completamente otra ciencia. Flow mayor is where all those rhythms meet. Porque el flow no es de un solo jugador, es de un corillo entero que prende estadio. De San Diego a Santo Domingo y cada parada en el camino. Cuando estamos activos, la liga sube de nivel. Esto es flow mayor.
Te encantan los jugadores. Te encanta el juego.
¡Y se fue!
Ahora puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas, jerseys autografiados y más, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores agregados toda la temporada. Cada artículo es autenticado por MLB para asegurar que lo que llega directamente a tu hogar es original. ¿Quieres una parte del juego? Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Well, here we go, folks, to the top half of the 9th inning. The Mariners have been hanging on to a 1-0 lead since the bottom of the first. Luis Castillo goes back out there for his 3rd inning of relief. First ever relief appearance for Luis Castillo. Murakami will lead things off. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's down low for ball 1. Murakami, Vargas, Montgomery for the White Sox. The numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Castillo into the windup, and the 1-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner. A backdoor slider, and the count is even on Murakami at 1 ball and 1 strike. And he's going to challenge. We got a challenge here.
Munoz has started to throw for the Mariners.
And that was a ball that was outside, so that changes things up from 1-1 to 2-0 on Munetaka Murakami. Luis ready. Glove hand right in front of his face. The wind and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at a good fastball. And now the count is 2-1. Murakami, 2 for 3 in last night's game, 0 for 2 tonight. Miller struck him out in the first. Ferreira struck him out in the 6th inning. That was a huge out with 2 on. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 3. 3-1. Still a little tug of the bill of his cap. Pushes that cap down over the long braids. Looks in, ready, has a sign from Garver. The windup and the big 3-2 pitch is high and outside for ball 4. So Murakami with a leadoff walk here in the top of the 9th inning, and the White Sox have the tying run on at first base. So due up Miguel Vargas, right-handed hitter, batting .241, coming into the game with 11 home runs, 29 runs batted in. We're going to have a pinch runner. Hill takes over at first base. Derek Hill, the pinch run for Murakami. So Hill on at first base with nobody out. Luis was up to the challenge with 2 on and 1 out. Got the next 2 outs in the 8th inning. Looking for the final 3 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Ground ball would help right now. Vargas the hitter. The set by Castillo. He delivers, and it's low and outside for ball 1. Double play depth. The kid, Colt Emerson over at short. Cole Young at second base toward the bag. Hill the lead at first base. The stretch and the pitch. Strike called, and the count is even on Vargas at 1 ball and 1 strike. Vargas, one of the hottest hitters on this ball club right now. He's hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games for an average of .344. Castillo, little turn, check it in with Hill, the runner at first, held on by Naylor. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at a slider. And now Luis out in front of the count at 1-2. You throw another one down on the way to try to get that ground ball. The swing and a miss is great for a strikeout. Outfield for the Mariners straight away. Randy Rosarena in left. Julio in center. Connor Joe in right. Here we go, the set. And the 1-2 on the way to Vargas. Here she comes. It's inside, and that hits him. Vargas hit by a pitch on his hand, and he is down on all 4s and a lot of pain inside the right side of the batter's box. Luis came in with a fastball, and Vargas was hit by the pitch. One of the trainers for the White Sox checking up on Vargas, but his right hand is really hurting. So now the White Sox will have runners at first and second with nobody out. Ooh, he got him in the chest?
Yeah, it looked like he was turning and got him in the chest. Ouch.
Oh, man. From up here, it looked like he got him on the hand, and the ball just missed his hand on the bat and hit him on the right side of his chest. So Vargas hit by a pitch. He's going to stay in this game. He's going to make his way to first base, and now the White Sox, wow, have 2 on with nobody out.
So Munoz is ready, and you wonder what would bring Munoz into the game. No outs, 2 on.
Luis trying to work himself out of a big jam here in the top of the 9th inning. The tying run is on at second. Go ahead, run at first. 1-0 Mariners. And here's Colson Montgomery, who's 0 for 3. And now time is called. The pitching coach, Pete Woodworth, a slow walk out to the mound to have a talk with Luis and give Munoz a little more time to get ready. And Pete just going out there to talk with Luis. Hey, this relief role tonight, how much do you have left in the tank?
Well, this is the difference, right? If this is the 4th inning in a 1-0 game and the first 2 are each, stakes a little bit lower than the 9th inning.
But now you do have a closer out of the bullpen who worked in last night's game and was outstanding. Munoz, a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning last night. So the White Sox really threatening here in the top of the 9th inning. The Mariners hanging on to that 1-0 lead. And now here comes Dan Wilson out of the dugout, and that is going to be it for Luis Castillo. So Pete Woodworth went out to just buy some time for Munoz.
I don't think you can do that, though.
Dan, before he reaches that first base line, is intercepted by Ryan Blakeney. And now Dan turns around and heads on back to the dugout. So Pete went out there to talk with Luis. And now Castillo will have to face Colson Montgomery with nobody out here in the top half of the ninth inning, 2 on. So Luis taking a little bit of time, waiting for Montgomery. He's ready. Here we go. Runners get their leads. Now the pitch on the way to Montgomery, swinging a ground ball, foul on the first base side, taken by the White Sox first base coach, and the count is 0-1. Chase Meidroth is due up next. Montgomery, the cleanup hitter for the White Sox. Hill on at second, the tying run. Vargas on at first base, the go-ahead run. Nobody out, the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Montgomery. And the count is now 0-2. Luis reaching back for a little something extra. This is a new role for Luis Castillo, working in relief. He's appeared in 252 games, all as a starter. So he's looking for 3 outs here at the top of the ninth inning, but Munoz ready to go down to the bullpen. Here's the stretch, and the 0-2 on the way to Montgomery, and here she comes. It's a breaking ball, slider down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Luis would love to get Montgomery by himself. Of course, a double play would be awesome too. Runners get their leads, the stretch, and the 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss and a fastball for strike 3. Luis Castillo, the Rock, reaching back for a little something extra. He blows a fastball by Colson Montgomery, 1 away for the Sox. Here in the top of the ninth inning, now here comes Danny out of the dugout. He's going to go get Munoz, looking for the final 2 outs here in the top of the ninth inning. Wow, that was a valiant try right there by Luis Castillo, hanging in there. The strikeout Montgomery for the first out here in the top half of the...
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places, and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do like brisket, wrap, and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
They say it's a game of numbers, pero el flow es completamente otra ciencia. Mi trabajo es sencillo, cachar ese ritmo que solo nuestra gente tira y regarlo por toda la temporada. Flow mayor is where all those rhythms meet. Porque el flow no es de un solo jugador, es de un corillo entero que prende estadio. De San Diego a Santo Domingo y cada parada en el camino. Cuando estamos activos, la liga sube de nivel. Esto es Flow Mayor.
Company in the Pacific Northwest, delivering quality care because they care. Learn more at starrentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Feel the signature difference every time you visit Swinomish Casino and Lodge. And every Saturday, win your share of $20,000 in cash during Signature Saturdays. Must be 18 plus. See SwinomishCasinoandLodge.com for details.
Well, Andres Munoz is on for the Mariners here. Runners at first and second, no margin for error, a 1-0 lead. There's 1 out as Castillo just got a big strikeout.
Heck of a job by Luis Castillo. 2 1/3 innings, but 2 on for Chicago. The Mariners hanging on to that 1-0 lead, top of the ninth inning. Chase Meidroth is the hitter. Munoz ready. The stretch and the pitch to Meidroth. Slider for a strike, and he had Meidroth backing away out of the batter's box. A nasty, nasty slider from Senor Smoke. So Munoz really bends to the waist as he looks in to get the sign, and here we go. Hill on at second, the tying run. He goes to third, pitch on the way. Ball, no throw down to second, and both runners advance a double steal. Hill takes third, Vargas gets into second, and the count is even on Mydroth at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Hill taking off at third, and right behind him, Vargas in at second, and now the infield has to come in for a play at the plate. Munoz looks in ready, and the 1-1 on the way to Mydroth. Here she comes, swinging a ground ball right side, and it sneaks on by. Naylor into right field for a base hit. Hill will score, holding at third. The throw to the plate by Joe up the line as Garver has to go get it. The White Sox have tied the game at 1-1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Mydroth with a ground ball sneaks by to the left of Josh Naylor at first base into right field to tie up the game. So Vargas to third. He was thinking about coming home, put on the brakes, and Mydroth winds up on at second base as the throw home went up that third base line by Connor Joe. And now the White Sox in the same boat with 2 on in scoring position with 1 out. And here is Andrew Benintendi, and that run is going to be charged to Luis Castillo. All even at 1, the stretch. And the pitch to Benintendi, swinging a ground ball, diving try by Naylor off his glove. It gets on by Cole Young to his right, and here comes Vargas on to score, and the White Sox now have a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Hard hit ball with the infield up close. Naylor diving to his right. It glanced off his glove for a base hit. Vargas scores, and it's now 2-1 Chicago. And over to third goes Mydroth. So Benintendi with a base hit. You had Naylor diving to his right, Cole Young diving to his left. And here's Acuna, the new center fielder. Still only 1 out. A couple of ground balls that got through the right side. Here's a bunt attempt by Acuna. He fouls it away behind home plate, made the attempt. No squeeze. It would have been a safety squeeze had Acuna got the bunt down. But the count is 0-1 on Acuna. This is Acuna's first at bat. He came in a pinch run for Kelnick in the 8th inning. Little right-handed hitter. Now the set by Munoz. And the pitch, he tries to bunt, and it's up and in. And that's where you want to throw that pitch. Make it tough to lay down a bunt high and inside to Acuna. So now the White Sox have Mydroth on at third and Benintendi over at first base. The look in by Munoz. 2 runs are in here in the 9th inning. This crowd mighty quiet right now. The 1-1 pitch. Bunt attempt popped in the air behind home plate. And this one back into the seats. And the count is now 1-2 on Acuna. So again, Munoz doing the right thing. Fastball's up and in. Just so tough to try to lay down a bunt. And now with 2 strikes, Acuna has to swing away. Acuna batting just 174 on the year. But a tough man to double up if he hits it on the ground. The stretch and the 1-2 pitch is strike 3 called on the inside corner, backing away from the slider. And it caught the inside corner, and Andres Munoz with a huge strikeout, and the White Sox have 2 down here in the top of the 9th. But they have 2 in to take the lead late in the game, 2-1, and here's Tristan Peters. Mydroth at third, Benintendi on at first base. And Munoz looking for the final out here in the 9th. Mariners looking for a big comeback in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pitch of the way and a swing and a miss by Peters. Had a good slider from Munoz, and the count is 0-1. The inning started with a walk and then a hit batter with 2 strikes. Miguel Vargas was hit in the chest with a pitch. Here's the stretch and the 1 next pitch on the way. Runner goes. Check swing. Did he go? He did. A strike. And down to second base goes Benintendi. And the count is 0-2 on Peters. So now 2 on in scoring position for the 3rd time in this inning for the White Sox. 0-2 the count on Peters. The stretch by Munoz. The 0-2 pitch on the way in. A swing and a miss. He tried to check his swing, but he went around for strike 3. That's going to retire the side. Well, the Sox get 2 to take the lead, and they leave 2 stranded. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 1 to tie, 2 to win it. We head to the bottom of the 9th.
The Cubs are on fire and have turned 1060 West Addison Street, a.k.a. Wrigley Field, into the hottest address in baseball. This week, the Cubbies flew the W for the 15th straight time, their longest home winning streak since 08. And they're winning in dramatic fashion.
Dansby's going to score. The Cubs are going to walk off the Reds. 4-ball game. 3 straight walk-off wins in the series against Cincinnati.
At the center of it all is Nico Horner, flat out playing like the best second baseman in baseball. Shota Imanaga has been one of the game's best on the hill with a sub-2.5 ERA. With PCA doing PCA things in the field and a solid bullpen, this Cubs team looks built for the long haul. The NL Central has been baseball's toughest division. Will the Cubbies' home field advantage be the difference in the chase for the division crown?
They flipped with the glove. That was not a good idea.
All he needed to do was try to get the lead guy by giving him a nice easy feed.
No, stay on your feet. No.
I thought he was going to stay on his feet.
Uh-oh. The Goose did not know that the game was starting. Maybe the Goose thought it was 6:45 first pitch time.
Oh, man, off the glove and off the dome. He's saying, oh, man, what happened? It's a moment that he'll never forget, and that'll be on the blooper everywhere.
Kids will receive exclusive giveaways, access to member events, and more.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. What a turn of events. It was a 1-0 Mariner lead, but the Sox take advantage of a walk and a hit batter, ground balls that get on through the right side of the infield to take a 2-1 lead. And we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. J.P. Crawford will lead things off. J.P. to pinch hit for Patrick Wisdom. On the mound, right-hander Grant Taylor, 18 appearances on the year. The windup and the pitch on the way to J.P., and it's in there for a strike, 0-1.
Mariners will unleash their lefties. Raley is on deck.
So you got Luke ready to hit right behind Crawford. Now the windup by Taylor, the 0-1 pitch to J.P. up high for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, and you know he's going to grind out and at bat. Grant Taylor 1-0 with a 1.85 ERA, 18 appearances. The stretch and the pitch. Check swing, and it's down low for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 9th inning. 24 1/3 innings. Taylor has given up 21 hits, 8 walks, and 35 strikeouts. Now the windup and the 2-1 pitch to J.P. Swing and a miss at a fastball at 98 miles an hour. So Taylor has some heat. And the count is even on Crawford at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Third baseman Vargas way off the line, playing just about straight away at short. Taylor ready, the windup, and the 2-2 on the way to J.P. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. And the Mariners have 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That'll bring up Luke Raley. Raley to pinch hit for Connor Joe, so you got some firepower coming off the bench. So here's Raley. And Luke on the year with 10 home runs. 1 big swing right here can tie up this game. Raley steps in. Here's the windup and the pitch to Luke. It's a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Raley 10 home runs and 27 runs batted in. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 9th inning. The windup and the 0-1 to Luke. Check swing, and it's down low. Did he go? He did not. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Trip Gibson. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Man, looking back on this one, Mariners had all kinds of opportunities in that first inning. Here's the pitch on the way and a strike on Raley, and the count is now 1-2. They really had Anthony Kay on the ropes. Mariners scored that 1 run, but they left the bases loaded. As Kay was really struggling with his control, he threw 35 pitches. The 1-2 to Luke. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. And now with 2 outs, the Mariners are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. So that will bring up Dom Canzone. Can there be a little bit of magic in that bat of Dom Canzone to pinch hit for Mitch Garver? here in the bottom of the ninth inning. You know he went to school watching Grant Taylor throw a lot of fastballs to Crawford and O'Reilly. Looking for a first pitch fastball. The pitch on the way to Dom. Check swing, and it's a strike, and he didn't get it. It was a curveball from Taylor, and the count is now 0-1. Dom, good job to hold up and not chase it. Here's the windup, and the 0-1 pitch on the way to Canzone. And that pitch is up high for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike, and he came back with another 98-mile-an-hour heater. So Canzone looking to tie it up early in the count. Here's the windup, and the 1-1 on the way to Canzone. Swinging a ground ball foul on the third base side, and now the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Canzone with 4 home runs on the year and 18 runs batted in. Man, this game really turned in a hurry in the top of the ninth inning when the Sox came up with their 2 runs. They lead 2-1. The windup and the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3, and the ball game is over. The White Sox come from behind and win tonight, a final score of 2-1. Tough loss for the Mariners tonight on a piggyback night with Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo. Bryce Miller was absolutely outstanding. 5 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. Gave up only 1 hit, 1 walk, and he struck out 7. But the White Sox come from behind with 2 runs in the top of the ninth inning, and they win Game 2, a final score of 2-1. This series all tied at 1 win apiece, with a rubber match coming up tomorrow afternoon. Once again, the final score, White Sox 2, the Mariners 1. We'll be back with the totals and more after this time.
They're loaded now for Langoliers.